Evening, everybody, and welcome once again to Rogues Gallery Live. Like I said, welcome to Rogues Gallery Live, everybody. This is Chris, the Batman statue collector, and this is episode number 120. I've entitled tonight's show a UPS Shakeup, and also we're going to talk about the latest in collecting news and pics. Got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Got a ton of photos to look at, and so I'm very excited for tonight's show. I want to introduce this guy right over here from Wayne Manor North. I just got back from some incredible baseball. Mr. Dan Default's in the house.
Yeah, just fresh back from down south and feeling great. Looking forward to being back with you fine gentlemen and the chat.
Glad that you're back, sir. We also have from All Things Art, Mr. Eric B. in the house. How's it going, Eric?
Good. Glad to be back. Looking forward to tonight's topics.
Excellent. And also this guy right here saw the Flash movie, which I'm very excited. So will we like it? I don't want any spoilers, but will we like it? Like, will we come away from it and be like, yeah, that's cool?
Yeah, because you like Michael Keaton's Batman and he's in it, so you're going to like it.
That's great. Okay. I can't wait. Then also from Secret Sanctuary, we have Mr. Jeff Delaney in the house. How's it going, Jeff?
Going really good. Happy to be here. Wednesday night, so one of my favorite nights of the week because of this show.
Okay, I love to hear that. That's awesome. Jeff Morris might be here. He thought he might be. I'm not sure if he's going to pop on or not. We'll see. But I want to thank the nearly 80 of you already watching in here tonight, 2 minutes in. That's awesome. Thank you guys so very much for being here. If you would do me a favor, hit the like button. That helps people find that we're live. Thanks. Hello to everybody that has popped in. We'll try to get to some of your questions and comments as the show goes. So again, I can't thank you guys enough for continuing to tune in and watch every time that we're live. So thank you guys very, very much. So what's new with you guys? Anything new?
Doing a convention this weekend.
All right, where are you going?
Philadelphia Fan Expo.
So what's going on with that? Oh, I did see somebody that you're going to be meeting, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah, Mr. Anakin. Hayden Christensen's going to be there. I think I'm going to meet up with Tara Strong, the voice actress for Harley and all the cartoons and stuff. It's going to be like a father-daughter day. I'm bringing my daughter with me. So
that'll be awesome. Have you ever been before?
No, I haven't. So they have a really good lineup as far as celebrities go. Not so much for comic book artists, but at least from names that I've heard of. So curious to see what they have, but should be good either way.
Well, I made this announcement before I made it today in the group, but I'm going to be attending Fan Expo Dallas, and that's not this weekend, but it is next weekend. And so it's very similar. It has a lot of the same celebrities that are at yours, I think, for the most part. Like the Office cast is going to be there, so I might even Rainn Wilson is going to be there, which I was surprised. But some 4 or 5 of the Office cast and the Vacation cast with Chevy Chase and Hayden Christensen and Rosario Dawson. So I'm trying to figure out how much money I want to spend. So if I meet the 4 guys for Chevy Chase, Christy Brinkley, Cousin Eddie, and the wife, it's $465.
Oof, wow.
Yeah, I was telling you guys, they're going to have the Back to the Future cast. They have Marty, what's his face? Biff,
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd there, and I think it was over 500 to do all 3. And
who was the third? Do you remember who the third was? Leah Thompson.
Christopher Lloyd, Marty, and then the guy that plays Biff.
Oh, just for the 3. That's crazy. I would love to meet them. I've met Christopher Lloyd, but I would love to meet the rest of them because that's my favorite trilogy. But I would love to. Leah Thompson, I think especially. I'd love to meet her. I always enjoyed her. So. That's awesome. Well, I'm glad that you get to do that. And again, for those of you that are going to be in Dallas, we might do a little meetup there. I know Sebastian Espinoza, who I met last year, he's going to be there, and so we might do a little tiny meetup. My friend Damon and Ledger is going this time. We got press passes again, so hopefully we'll be able to cover that event. And the big artists that I'm excited about, they didn't have very many big artists, kind of like what you said. But Art Germ's going to be there, and I've never met him. So
he's bringing Derek True with him as well. That's his protege student, I think. He's also very good.
Would I know him from anything? Would I know his work?
Yeah,
you would.
I wonder if he's coming to my show. I'm gonna look
He has
it
a
up.
very similar style to Artgerm. Artgerm has like a group of people because he's also like a teacher. He teaches how to draw and stuff, and he has like a group that he hangs out with that are really good upcoming artists.
That's awesome. What was his name again?
Derek Chu.
Yeah.
All right, let me just see if
It's really good.
they've added him. I'm just looking real quick at the site. Oh yeah, he is on there. That's cool.
Yeah.
He's there. So I'll have to wonder if he has any covers that I know.
You'll recognize him, I'm sure.
Okay. Well, thank you for letting me know. Otherwise, I might have missed him. So thank you. But again, if you're in Dallas next weekend, please stop by if you see me. And I would love to take a pic or something and just talk for a little bit about collecting. These shows are a lot of fun to go to. And I know Dallas, I'm sure yours is going to be the same, but last year it was packed. It was crazy, but that was the first time I had done Dallas. So it was a lot of fun. And I know, Jeff, you've got Monster Palooza coming up here real soon.
That's this weekend too, right?
Yeah, I'm going on Saturday.
Oh, this weekend. It's this weekend.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that'll be awesome. I know Tweeterhead's going to have a booth. I think PCS also, right?
Yeah, it'll be Tweeterhead, PCS, ECC. Mark Newman has his own booth. Ralph Grassetti has his own booth.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah,
That's really cool. That's awesome. Yeah. I would love to meet Mark Newman. I'm assuming you've met him before.
I haven't chatted with him. I've been at his booth, but I didn't talk to him.
That's cool. Well, I'd love to see him at San Diego. That'd be really neat. Sounds like they're starting to kind of leak some of the people that are going to be there. It sounds like there's going to be some pretty good names. It looks like maybe Jim Lee again, from what I saw. I don't remember. I saw some press release. So that'll be in July. So I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, I'll be hanging out with Jeff there. Hopefully we'll have a really great time. And again, it's a bummer that Sideshow is not going to be there, but it sounds like a lot of other people are going to be. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, should be.
Yeah. So anyway, do me a favor, guys. And obviously Jeff will have some great coverage, I'm sure, on his channel, Secret Sanctuary on YouTube. So definitely check that out. I'm sure you'll do some booth tours and stuff like that. So looking forward to seeing the new stuff. Is Todd going to have a booth there this year, or no? Does he not do monthly?
No, he'll be there, but not in a booth.
Okay. Have you seen his store?
It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's like a space portal, huh?
I've been there, yeah.
Have you been there since he put that space thing in there, that entrance?
It was under construction. So it's supposed to be part of the ship from 2001.
So great.
It's really cool.
It's crazy. I can't even imagine how much money that's costing him to get like, I know how much just my simple bat cave is. I can't even imagine putting something like that in, but that's really cool. So anyway, that'll be another, I think, Mecca trip for all of us to check out the spec store. That'll be cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Namix just saying, what's in the box? So I just got this. This is the Catwoman on gargoyle. So this is an older Sideshow piece. All of these guys, all four of them said, "Hey, Chris, the gargoyle one's the better piece." And I said, "Yeah, I know, but I still went and got the other one anyway. I still sold it. I got it back." So Glutton for Punishment. I got this in recently. Obviously had the Killing Joker bust. What'd you guys think of that?
It looks cool. Yeah.
Look great.
Yeah, cool.
It's awesome. So for those of you that are the person that was going to buy it, they decided not to buy it. I have now resold it again. So it is already packed up and getting ready to ship out.
Oh, wow.
So it was a tough choice, but it was just a little bit too tall and big for kind of the direction I had. Me and Dan was posting in the group earlier. Dan, you had to make a tough choice this week with the statue. And sometimes we just have to kind of pull the Band-Aid. And
sometimes you just got to pull the Band-Aid.
Yeah. So
you can't have everything, and it's just one of those things in our hobby.
So what made you cancel right away versus just waiting it out a little bit closer to the release date?
I've given it a lot of thought. I've had that on pre-order for a while. Like quite a while.
So let's tell. We were talking about the Jokerized bat suit from Prime 1. So the Joker and it's kind of a purplish, silvery color. A lot of bright colors on it. Yep. I think your reasons were very valid. So tell us about it.
I'm a big. First, let me just say that original reason I pre-ordered that statue is I'm a huge fan of Jimenez's work on Batman. I think ever since he took the mantle back in Batman 90 or 91, whatever it was, I mean, he's just done a phenomenal job. I love the artwork. I know the exact panel that the statue was taken from, and that last page. It's phenomenal. That said, there are 3 reasons that all kind of tipped me toward canceling ultimately. One of them, the easiest one just to spot, is cost, right? So, or price, I should say, price for value. That piece with shipping to me, and I'm in the New England area, is over $2,000. And I just, certain pieces I didn't flinch at that number. The White Knight on Bat Bike as an example, right? I just didn't even flinch. Because the value in my mind the math worked out, but over $2,000 for that piece just didn't work out for me. Second reason, footprint. It looks enormous. Now, I've learned that looks can be deceiving, and dimensions on the web page, on the descriptions are often not accurate.
Yes.
So that would be the last reason for me to cancel, but it's a reason. That cape is enormous. That base looks big, and I'm not looking to add giant 1/3 statues in my collection right now.
And you also mentioned that you were a little bit worried about the brightness of it, like the color.
That'd be the third reason.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Nope. So that's good. You're absolutely right. The third reason was the color. Most of the folks in this chat know, and in our Facebook group, that I recently rebought and resold Batman Animated Series Bust Collection. I had 22 of them. Phenomenal collection. Love it to death.
And you worked hard. You worked hard to get them.
Hard for wasn't even 8 weeks. I think it was 6 weeks. I had them all back.
Yeah, you were fast.
Every day. I mean, I found deals, and oh man.
They are fun to hunt down. They are really fun.
They were fun to hunt, and they're not expensive. So you don't feel like, you're going nuts, but when you add it up, you are.
Yes.
But anyway, so I got them in. I even made a custom display for them. I put them in my collection. I looked around and said, yep, this doesn't go. The feng shui of it just did not line up.
Yep.
And that's big with me. Display and displayability is big. Now, I had Photoshopped this. I had, you name it. But it just didn't look good in the room. And I'm not into that. It looked piecemeal, like it was force fit in the collection. And not that I think this Joker would look that way, but I do think it would it would be pretty in your face,
Well, that's where I was with the Joker, the Killing Joke Joker bust. It is phenomenal. It is awesome. And everybody's like, why would you sell it? Why would you do that? But once I got it in, my thought was solidified because it is so tall. Yeah. It was taller than anything else in my collection.
Wow.
By far. So if you put that next to even a third scale, I just feel like it's going to look weird or be overpowered. Yep. And sometimes we've said that sometimes the busts kind of overshadow some other pieces in your collection. So I think you said the perfect word, feng shui, with it. It's like, yes, it would be, it fits the collection. It is Batman. It's my, favorite Joker story. I love it. Yep. But at the same time, I just can't see it working. And so
that's all that counts at the end of the day.
It's right. It's like you can still appreciate the art from afar, but that's just,
I'm still looking forward to it, but same reasons as Dan, that is in the back of my mind because of that purple cape. I'll even probably bring up an example. Dan, you said, what's the most eye-catching piece of art in your room that grabs your attention right away that's on your wall?
Oh, yeah, the Batman 125 by Ross.
Alice Ross, because of the colors, those turquoises, those purples. So the same thing's going to happen with that Jokerized Batman. It's just going to be like the first thing you see when you walk in.
Your eyes go to it. Yep.
I've been having a lot of conversations with the creative director at Prime One, and we're talking about the way sales are going, and ESs are really small, and sales are slowing down, and they are still going to absolutely still do 1/3 scale, but it's not going to be their focus. And so I'm to the point where I am such a 3rd scale collector that I kind of just want to grab and make sure I grab any of those pieces because it's still my favorite. They're still going to do them, but they're clearly going to slow down, and so pieces like that, I at least want to get it. And even if it does the same thing, if it's too big or if it's too obnoxiously, color wise, I could always sell it. But I feel like right now I want to, the same thing with the Joker Dragon. That's one of the reasons I got the Joker Dragon. It's just.
Can we talk about the Joker Dragon for a second?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There isn't one small part on that thing.
I was not able to watch the live. I was very tied up at the time. I watched the replay yesterday. That piece is enormous. I had no idea it was that big.
It's crazy because next to some statues, there are some statues I've seen it like, in a row of statues, and it like sometimes looks a little small.
Yeah.
Holy crap, it's not small.
The thing, and it's like that big. Oh my
like
God.
Every time you went in the box to get another part, it was like that big on the screen.
I know.
It was huge.
I couldn't believe it, and the boxes were just obnoxiously heavy. It's just crazy. It's just crazy how big it is. It is so. I mean, I think maybe it looks smaller just because it has a lower profile, like it's close to the ground. I mean, it's not built up real high.
Well, doesn't look that short though. Like,
it's on my floor. I had to take it apart just to sit because I'm out of room. Like I've got literally no room in this space, especially when I had the boxes in here for the Joker bus because that was two massive boxes. So I lifted it by myself and moved it down on the floor and kind of took the snakes apart or the dragon, and it's big and heavy.
do you guys just back to the Joker for a sec? Do you guys worry about, and this would be like 3B, the reason why so I canceled my PO, the resaleability on that piece, the level of interest in it seems pretty darn low, even for 100 ES.
Yeah.
It's still on low alert for a while. That's like with a lot of their statues on the website, though. It's been on low alert a few pieces for a while that have low ESs.
I would assume like if they get to let's say they get to after 6 weeks or whatever, or a couple months, and they're at 78 or something like that, I bet they just say, hey, we're going to do 1,000 or do 100, call it, and still hopefully sell the other ones, or otherwise we'll see it 3 years from now on a sale that they do.
Although if they stop, at least for a while, making 1/3, DC pieces, the market might dry up a little bit. So might as well grab all the 1/3 you can now.
I had 3 conversations with 3 different statue companies today, and they all said the same thing: oversaturation.
Really?
Oversaturation. Because in the old days, we were 2 or 3 companies making a certain number of statues, and now we've got 15 companies all making a tremendous amount of statues, and a lot of times they're the same character. And so something's got to give. That's the thing, is either companies go under and there's less out there, which I hate to see, but
yeah,
I think at some point there will be some that do go under. I just don't think that they can survive it long term.
I agree,
especially at these prices. But also I think that they're going to have to start targeting the Uber fans, and that just be their market that they're going to try to shoot for. Which is a shame because there's so many new collectors out there. But I mean, there'll obviously still be companies that other collectors will have access to, at a decent price point. But I just don't know. Like it's oversaturation is the word that's constantly used. It's like there's just too much.
The
and they're to blame too. I mean, they're to blame for that oversaturation.
Even if the companies pull back, I think as they pull back, the custom companies will increase to fill the void.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to continue to be oversaturated either way.
And I feel like a lot of those custom companies are doing just as good. I mean, the output. I feel like some in the past have been kind of hit or miss quality wise, but some of these are really impressive. And some of this goes to a topic we're going to talk about here in a bit with Eric, who brought some of these things to our attention about some of these custom pieces. But I think you're exactly right, Jeff. Also, I think like Prime 1, I think they're going to focus more clearly on anime video games like that. They're selling like hotcakes because that is the Asian market's buying that. Whereas the United States market, we're the only ones really buying superheroes. We don't buy a lot. I mean, other company or countries in small pockets, but I think we are going to see quarter scales from Prime 1 and some third scale, but I'm here to tell you guys, we are not going to get any characters that we're wanting in terms of like all of those B-C list characters. They're not going to do it.
But LBS might.
Oh, and they know it. They know it. I mentioned it to them.
Mm-hmm.
I flat out said, these are the ones that LBS is making or, are planning to make. These ones they've teased or talked about. And they're just, they can't take the risk. They're not selling.
Right.
So unless we get an ES of 20, which we might get to that point if we're already do 100.
That's my point about the custom companies.
Yeah,
they can do a run of 50 and
sure.
make it profitable.
Yep. And they'll do characters that people want.
Right.
Yep. And do them well.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's a crazy time for sure. But I'm definitely concerned about the health of the hobby, but hopefully we'll be able to ride it through. And I think there'll always still be something out there for people. But like Dan said, we just have to make tough choices sometimes, and we have to, we might live to regret it. I know I know you've canceled a few in the past that you ended up buying anyway.
Oh yeah, it happens.
And it happens, it's just, it is. Sorry, I just saw Paula's, Chris, you're such a downer. Where's all your positivity? We might get some new characters, I hope. So I will say this, again, you mentioned Legendary Beast. Legendary Beast is a company that is absolutely going to take the risk. I don't know how they're going to be able to make it work, but they're going to make some characters that they've never done before. Yeah. Again, Tweeterhead making Two-Face. Like it's exciting. We're still getting some new stuff, but it's also important. I cannot stress this enough. We have to buy them. We have to buy them. If we don't buy these characters, if we don't buy Two-Face and he doesn't sell well, like we have to support these companies, because if we don't, they're probably not going to continue to take the risk.
It's funny, Chris. We've talked a lot about Two-Face over the past month or so, and I was thinking about it, and talk about just in baseball, a slow pitch right down the middle with Two-Face. I mean, we've been asking for him as a character that hadn't been done in quarter scale. We've been asking him to look a certain way and be done a certain way with a low, profile footprint for displayability, and I mean. Talk about checking every box.
Every box.
These checks, every box, all the way down to the price, $600 or $625. I mean, guys in the chat, if you guys are considering that piece, I can't emphasize enough. I mean, just go do it. It's everything we've been clamoring for a while as Batman related collectors,
and I'll plug Tweeterhead again. If you order direct from Tweeterhead, you get $25 off. Yep. I think there's some hesitation between the 6 scale and the quarter scale because there's not a giant price difference.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wish that they were able to price the 6 scale a little bit less. I think that would have sold more. But at the end of the day, again, if you do order direct, obviously that goes all to Tweeterhead. Tweeterhead doesn't have to share that money with anybody. And so that does help support him. Talking about Chad and, again, $25 off. It was a smaller amount for shipping. And also it helps, the more we give him the money for it and his trust, the more he is willing to say, hey, let's do a Riddler or, a Penguin or whoever else that they might do. But if we don't buy from him, I'm worried that there just won't be a lot of other opportunities.
Yep.
So I think my lucky stars every day that we're going to get a quarter scale or a 6 scale Two-Face, because again, no one else was going to take the risk. Yep. And clearly no one ever has, except for one Two-Face on the Sanity sculpt and the 3rd scale Prime 1.
Yep.
So, and I don't know if Legendary Beast will do Two-Face. I haven't heard one way or the other. I do know some characters that he does want to do, but I don't think he ever mentioned Two-Face. So who knows? This might be your only opportunity. So again, guys, if you're interested at all, please try to buy direct from tweeterhead.com. Again, $25 off if you pay in full. So I know that they are, how do I say it? They are back in the direct game. They are direct sales again. They are wanting to have their ducks in a row. I know that there's been some issues in the past with some customer service. They wanted to address that. And again, I am confident that they will do a good job going forward. So if that's the hesitation, have faith in them that they're going to try to do the right thing, because they're wanting to be successful. They're wanting to succeed, and they're wanting to bring characters to the community that we've all wanted. And again, Two-Face is a perfect example. Like Dan said, checked off all the boxes. And except for the damn dynamite that they couldn't show, which is ridiculous. I just filmed yesterday. I filmed a rant video that'll come up the channel probably sometime next week about the stupidity of Warner Brothers and what they can and can't do. It is just it is asinine that I could not say the word dynamite in my review. I mean, that is stupid. But it is what it is.
I think I can say it on Saturday when I film it at the convention.
You can. I'm saying it right now. Dynamite, 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 dynamite. You know, I'm going to say it till blue in the face. But like, it's dynamite. You're going to have a dynamite time, Jeff. But I'm like,
hold on. All right. So I don't know if, all right. So Sideshow sold this piece as well. If you look at the Arkham City Harley, you know, the one we all have.
Yep.
The little Joker guy has dynamite strapped to his back.
Sure does.
That wasn't that long ago.
He sure does. Yep. You have no idea some of the conversations I hear about. Like, it is nuts of what you can and can't do. And it just limits what you can do sculpt wise. I mean, it really, really does.
Yep.
I mean, stuff that they wanted to add to Two-Face, they couldn't.
Yep.
Trust me, guys. They wanted to add swap outs and accessories and this and weapons but nope.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the comments about lack of switch outs. It's not like they didn't try.
Believe me.
Yeah.
Believe me, they tried, and it would have been cool stuff too. So it's not that their sculpt's boring or lacking. It's like they just literally couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So whatever. I'm gonna get off that high horse. But anyway, let's go into topic number 1, shall we? Oh, actually, I wanted to do something first. So I'm sure you guys saw this. This is incredible. This isn't really even a topic, but did you guys see about this guy that turned in his comic book collection?
Oh, yeah. I know. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe you have more information about it. So I've got photos here. I'm going to kind of just scroll. So this guy literally turned in, and I can't remember what the starting date was. It was in the maybe 30s, 30s, maybe 40s. He has every single issue, DC issue from the 30s or 40s, whenever it was, until
DC started in 1933.
Okay, so he started then.
Mm-hmm.
And he has every single issue up until now.
Yeah, his name is Ian Levine. He's from England. He has been collecting these for decades. He was very close to completing his DC collection maybe 10 years ago. And he was very active on the CGC boards, getting help finding the last remaining issues. Most of them were like obscure romance comics that DC did in the 1950s. And he did it. He completed the collection. He held on to it for a while. And then a few years ago, he consigned it to Sotheby's on the condition that they sell it as a single lot.
Wow.
and his price was $10 million.
Oh my gosh.
So Sotheby's attempted that for a couple of years. They were not able to find a buyer. So now it's going to a different auction house. They go up for auction, I think in October or November of this year. And I'm unclear whether they're being sold individually or as lots by title or the whole thing. I'm not sure how they're doing it, but a complete DC collection, it's a lot of comics for sure, because you're talking about not just superhero books, but westerns and romance and horror and all kinds of stuff. So,
yeah, it's all this random stuff. Like, I mean, stuff I had never seen before, but it's just like even stuff that predates Batman and Detective Comics.
Yeah,
which was just, again, really exciting. And it's just so much fun to see these covers. I mean, stuff that
these
we
are
really
cool.
had.
So these are pre-Batman detectives. The first 26 issues of Detective did not include Batman. So it's just various crime covers that are really, really well done.
And that's just so cool.
That's the first appearance of Green Lantern ever.
It's just insane. Of course, very famous Detective Comics cover right there.
Like 31. Look at that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the condition of these are. I mean, they look like they're pretty good.
Yeah, it's going to vary because he bought all these secondhand. It's not like this is an original owner collection. This guy's just like any other comic collector. He was collecting back issues.
Really?
So, yeah.
Do you know how hard that would be? Like how long that? I mean, that is insane.
Well, you got to have a lot of money. That's for sure. But a lot of those books are going to end up being restored. They're not going to be unrestored copies, especially the keys, the Action 1, the Batman 1, Detective 27, Superman 1, all that stuff. So I'm really curious because, as you saw, they're all raw now.
Yeah.
But to get top dollar, he has to have those certified by CGC. So
Yeah.
I'm really curious whether the auction house is going to be doing that, or are they actually going to be offering all this stuff raw? Because no big time collector is going to spend $1 million on an Action 1 without knowing if all the pages are there,
Yeah, I was
or
going to
whether
say.
it's restored, and if it's restored, what the level of restoration is. So it'll be curious to see how it all plays out. But that's the story of that collection.
At least the major books. I mean, I would do, especially the big dollar ones. I mean, there might be some in there that will get some money, but not, top dollar.
There's a lot of big dollar books in there.
Oh
a lot
my
of
gosh.
figure books.
So I have a question. So, like a lot of times, like you'll be on the show and you'll say that there's 4 in existence of a book.
Yeah.
When this guy comes out of the woodwork, and maybe no one even knew of this guy until he starts, ruffling some feathers and saying, "Hey, I've got a $10 million sale here going."
Yeah.
Does that now say now there's 4? Now there's 5 in existence? Like, does that happen very often?
No. When I make that comment, I'm talking about certified copies. I'm talking about slab copies that are in the registry at CGC or at CBCS. So yeah, if he gets these certified, that will increase the census numbers on all those books, and that'll be accounted for. But yeah, no, there's still raw copies out there, and there's a lot of guys like me in their 50s or older who never went the certified route. I did myself, but some collectors don't like to have their comics entombed, they say. And so they keep them raw. In fact, some of the best comic collections in the country are not certified for insurance purposes. So the best DC collection in the country is owned by a dentist in Virginia. Oh. He has all the top copies of all the DC keys. Wow. So, and then the top Marvel collection, Golden Age, is owned by a family in Texas, collected by, his name was John Virgil. He passed away a few years ago, really nice guy. But his family has not sold the collection. They have kept it. And we're talking about complete runs of Captain America, Marvel Mystery, all the top titles in top condition. Wow. They are not slabbed. They are all raw. So it's a real pleasure if you get to visit any of those people to sit down and flip through some of these books with pristine white pages and vibrant colors on the covers. And it's really something else. So yeah, there's still a lot of comics out there that are not certified. But boy, oh boy, there's fewer and fewer every year.
That's crazy. Well, Dan, it sounds like you have to make a road trip to Virginia.
I would love to see that. But Jeff, do you have a sense as to how many books a complete DC collection is?
I'd have to look it up. Ian, it was certainly a topic of conversation when Ian was putting the collection together. I want to say between 10 and 20,000, but it seems like it should be more than that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly. I'd have to look it up.
And I don't know how much you know about it, but I'm really curious. Like, is it all of the real, like, Captain America in outer space? Like, is it all the super small, like, mini run, every book?
You're talking about the DC or the
DC. Sorry, I know I used Captain America, but like,
it's literally every DC comic published. Yes, wow. So it's everything.
That's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And it was funny, the hardest ones to find were really obscure, like romance titles that there aren't that many left because few people kept them over the years.
Wow.
So I have one other question. So I just got my CGCs back that I submitted for the very first time. I shared that with you guys. I haven't shared it with the public yet because, of course, I did a video. But so you said, like, so my books that I submitted, that goes into a registry?
Yeah, it's in the census now.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. So that's really cool.
Yeah, you can go to the CGC site, and there's a thing called CGC Lookup, and you can enter in the code number on your label for any of the books you got certified, and it will bring up all the information about that book, including any notes that the graders might have left on the titles. Like you had one, I think, that came back 7.0.
I did. Yes, it was my 1986.
Yeah, that might have graders' notes telling you what is wrong with that book that made them grade it that low.
So if it needed to be pressed or something like that, it might change.
Yeah, it might say non-breaking creases, lower left-hand corner front cover, that sort of thing.
That's really cool. That's awesome. I didn't
Yeah.
know that. So that's really neat. I'm just so impressed with the fact that it is registered. Now, does it have a database for like current value on that as well, or not? Not really.
It links. If you look it up, it links. I think it links to GPA and will give you a value for that one title. You can do that. Yeah.
It's really neat. It's really cool. So anyway, again, it was a non-topic that turned into a topic, but I mean, how great is it to see those books? I mean, that was just a few, you know, but like,
Yeah.
could you imagine like him turning those in and be like, here's what I got? Like, oh my God, it's just insane.
Right.
So cool. So cool.
It's big for that auction house too. I've never heard of them before. So this has gotten a lot of attention and kind of puts them on the map.
I was going to say, you'll know about them now.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's for sure. God, I wonder, it'll be interesting to see how much they go for. Cause I can't even, especially if, well, again, hopefully they get graded. I mean, I would assume that they would want to do that, or at least the auction house would want to pay to have that done.
Well, normally the auction house has it done, and then they subtract the cost of that from what they pay out to the owner.
Yeah, that makes sense. Or even if they can cut a deal with CGC and just say, hey, look at what we're bringing to you.
Right.
Maybe, I don't know. So we'll see. Let's move into topic number 1 real quick. So this, I got an article.
One thing real quick.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Can you highlight Matt's comment?
Yeah, I was just answering that for. Okay.
Hold please. Is it the last one?
Yeah.
Okay, so he says, I have a 9.9 of the Batman Damned Book 2, but the case is cracked. I'm afraid to have it reslabbed that it won't get back as a 9.8 still. Okay.
Yeah, Matt, it's likely that you don't have to have it reslabbed. You have to have it reholdered. So the inner well is probably just fine. It's probably just the outer casing that's cracked. So if you put it in as a reholder, it's much cheaper. And all they do is they still take the book out because they switch out the non-acidic paper that's put within the cover. But they only charge you for a reholder. It's much cheaper, and you maintain the same number, the same code number. So that's the way to go.
So on the website, you just fill out that it's a reholder and then just ship it the same way you would ship the regular books.
Yeah, it's just one of the options. Reholder is one of the options.
Yeah, it doesn't affect the grade. It'll come back the same grade.
And you don't have to take it out of the cracked holder. You can leave it in there, and they'll take it out for you.
Okay, that's great information. Thank you, guys. Good question, Matt. Okay, so topic number 1, collector Jeff in the Facebook group. I think he's going by Jeff Jeffries right now. It's had to change a couple of times, but anyway, he sent me an article. I don't know if you guys read it, but it's talking about a major UPS strike looming, and what will this mean for collecting? So basically, the thing is that I guess UPS, I think they said it like netted $100 billion last year or something in profits. Obviously, shipping's, people are shipping nonstop. And again, that's awesome. But apparently they are planning maybe this summer possibly to have the nation's largest strike in the history of the country with UPS workers, demanding wages. They talked about how there's like 2 tiers of workers, how, some get less hours or, they have, less that they have to do, but they're still getting paid more or getting, or whatever. And then there's all the frontline guys that are not getting paid as much. So they're potentially planning the country's largest strike. So I was just curious, whenever we talk about shipping and like, what do you think that'll do? Do you think it'll raise shipping costs? Do you think obviously things won't get delivered? What do you guys think will happen to our collectibles? I mean, not just, essential supplies that are coming in, but like, what do you think this will do to everything? I mean, it could potentially be pretty devastating.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, I think it'll cripple the economy, to be honest with you, for a short time. It'll be a big speed bump.
Well, apparently this happened in 97 and it lasted 15 days. And it cost UPS millions or billions of dollars, whatever it was. And they finally came to a negotiation. Yeah.
Think about how different things are now, though, between now and 97, 26 years later. We get so much stuff through UPS that we didn't previously.
Yeah, so I read a few articles. So basically when this happens, FedEx and other couriers have the opportunity to pick up that work because, they would like to, increase their, their business, but they need to know a certain amount of time ahead of time, and I believe that amount or like that time has already passed to where they won't be able to pick up their deliveries if they do go on strike. So,
well, one thing I did notice that's kind of interesting, I have that Captain Marvel premium format on pre-order, and it's at the point now where it hasn't shipped, but it does have the shipping quote, and the shipping quote is FedEx.
Wow.
It's never been FedEx before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bat Kid Voodoo says FedEx is going to swoop in, and maybe companies are already realizing this could happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
And they're being a little proactive, because obviously if it's making the news, you're darn well some of these big shippers are probably paying real close attention, I would think.
I didn't hear about this until today, until you brought it up. And then I watched that YouTube video you sent. I read a few articles, and it appears that, like you said, they're seeing all this money come in, but I feel like all this money was coming in to make up for, the expenses that UPS was already paying because of the pandemic. And then all these workers are seeing all this extra money coming in, and they're trying to get a piece of it, saying, okay, well, we're not treated fairly, raise our wages. They want, for example, they don't have air conditioner in the trucks. They don't have heat in the trucks. They want like all these, amenities now. They want, not to work 10 to 12 hours a day for 6 days a week. There's a few things in motion that they're trying to negotiate, which I do hope like the truck should at least have AC and, heat in it, at least for these guys. But I don't know, as far as raises go and salaries and guys coming in the first year making as much as money as the guys that have been there for 10 years, that's with any job. Over time, you're going to make more money than, apprentices or, newer guys coming in. So I don't know how I feel about that, asking for more money right away.
Well, I mean, it's not just UPS, but everybody. I know a lot of people are kind of waking up to the fact it's like, well, we're just all cogs in the wheel. We're just, we're like, there's the people making all the money on top, and it's all the people working hard, down below, and people get fed up with that. I think that's kind of what's happening here. It's like, well, these people are making $100 billion.
Yeah, they are overworked
for doing all the work and lifting the boxes.
They're overworked, but they tell them straight up ahead of time before they even start the job. This isn't, I actually was supposed to go work for UPS a long time ago. And I went to an orientation, and literally the first words out of the lady's mouth in the orientation is, if you like to spend time with your family, this is not the place for you. Turn around and get out right now before I begin the rest of what I'm about to say today. And that's exactly
that's cool.
Because they tell you you're gonna make a lot of money, and it's gonna go up every year. They told us like literally the first 20 minutes of her orientation, you're gonna clear 100K a year after a few years, but you're gonna be working 10 to 12 hours a day. Maybe 5 days a week, 6 days a week, whatever it is, all the time. And there's no like breaks or, 1 week I'll work overtime, and it's all the time for the rest of your career. You're working overtime every single day.
It's crazy. It's a lot. I mean, I know like my guy that drops off my boxes, he works his butt off nonstop. I mean, he's, I see him running in the morning. Yep. He runs every morning, and then I see him working. I see him at night working. I mean, I can't even imagine.
FedEx isn't that bad. FedEx, I think they handle somewhere like around 80 packages a day for the drivers. UPS is like double that. It's like they do like 200 packages a day. And the funny thing is, even if you rush through your day and say like, I'm going to, speed up the pace and get through my 200 packages. Once you finish your 200 packages, they'll now send you to help out another driver that's, slowed down in the day. So now it's not like you can get to go home. You got to now go help some other driver out, help deliver his packages.
So let's say that they do go on strike, and it's a long strike, and let's say some other companies pick up the slack. They're not going to still be able to handle that load, though.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the thing, is there's going to be massive delays. And like Dan said, it's going to cripple some things, at least for a while.
From what I read, it's supposedly not going to happen. Because like I said, it happened in 97, and it cost, I forget if it was millions or billions or whatever the amount was. It cost them a lot of money. So they're probably not going to want that to happen again.
Well, I mean,
I think one of their biggest arguments
is, right? I mean, they have to cave or hire all new people, and that they're not going to go do that.
One of their arguments was, well, one of the executives, some lady, she makes $97 million a year. Why is, let's take some of her, take some of the pay out of her money and, spread it out to all the employees.
I mean, it's like, I always think of Disney. I'm a big Disney fan.
Yeah.
But during the pandemic, they cut, a tremendous amount of their staff. They cut the college program. They sent everybody in the international program back home, and just, fired a ton of people, but they gave all of their executives bonuses.
That's crazy.
And massive bonuses.
It's with any job. Execs always make more money. I mean, I work in the health field. The execs make more money than the nurses and everything. So
Sure. And it's just, that's just the way it's set up, but it's unfortunate because, people are working really hard, but hopefully they'll be able to figure out something, because I do worry that this could get real ugly.
It seems like one of those things that it would be such a disruption that the federal government would get involved.
They would.
I think.
that's supposedly what happened in '97. The government had to step in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because just think how massive it would be. I mean, it would be, I would say probably, when you say second, if the post office did it, if it was, I would assume UPS is the second largest.
Well, it's funny, as I told you guys
Carrier.
a while back before this even happened, UPS has already picking up packages for Amazon. Like, so instead of like Amazon,
Right.
Prime doing deliveries, every once in a while, I'll have UPS deliver an Amazon package for me.
Yep, we get that too, because we don't have, like, our town isn't big enough to actually have like the Amazon delivery vans and stuff like that.
Okay.
So we don't get any of that. But yeah, UPS drops ours off sometimes. So pretty crazy. But anything else you guys want to talk about on that topic?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't think it's going to happen, but as far as raising prices, I'm sure they're going to, try to eat the cost somewhere. So be interesting to see where they pull this money from, if they do have to pay these guys more money.
So I looked it up, and the DC collection going up for auction is over 40,000 comics.
Oof. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of-
Does it say if they are going to do individual then?
Doesn't say.
I wonder. I would think that maybe they would do some lots, but then also some individual.
They might even do different auctions, like Heritage Auctions, which is huge. They got in a big comic collection a few years ago, and they broke it up into like 4 different auctions happening at different times of the year just to space it out.
Yeah. Well, and it's hard too. It's like, is this the best time to do a big auction like that where people are not buying? Ugh.
Well, I don't know. I mean, there was a Batman 20 up for auction last night, and I really wanted it. It's the first cover with the Batmobile on it. It's
Yep.
Batman and Robin in the Batmobile crashing out of the cover.
Great cover.
And it sold for just exactly what it sold for 2.5 years ago. So there was no dip there at all.
So how close were you to getting it?
I was the underbidder. I lost
Really?
it by $25.
Oh. So are you glad that are you kind of glad that you lost it by $25, or are you like wish you still had got it?
See, that particular copy, that exact copy, sold a couple of years ago for $4,321. A different copy in the exact same grade sold like 4 months ago for only $3,120.
Wow.
So I was hoping for that dip you mentioned.
You're right.
That maybe this copy would go for around that. And I thought if I get it for $3,500 even, that would be great. But no, I bid all the way up to $4,250 or whatever and lost it by $25.
Wow. There's sometimes where I bid on stuff and I'm kind of glad because I knew I really wanted it, but I didn't want to spend that much money. So it's like, sometimes I'm glad I lose, but.
Well, I did, because I didn't get that. I did buy that first appearance of Poison Ivy instead.
That's a great cover.
And that worked out well. So
that's a great one. I was at a comic book shop in Wichita last weekend. We had a baseball tournament, and they got a great little store, and I bought 3 of the One Bad Day comics.
Yeah.
And so that was really great. But I saw that they had a lot of like classic reprinted covers, and that was one of them. So I didn't realize that they're doing some, kind of reprint covers here recently. I don't know how often they do that, but that was one they had at the shop, that Poison Ivy. So it was cool.
Yeah.
Is that a popular grade for that book? I feel like every time I see that book slabbed, it's like a 7 or somewhere around a 7.
There's a lot of copies of that book. It's not hard to find. Pretty much every dealer has a copy, but I thought that copy looked particularly nice for a 7.5. I thought it presented much better, and it had white pages and the corners are really sharp. So it just seemed like a really nice copy for that grade. I mean, I got that for $2,400. It's a 7.5. The last 8.0, just half a grade up, just sold for $5,000 a few months ago.
Wow.
So it seemed like a good grade and a good copy at that grade. So I think it was a good purchase.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations. That's a great book to have. And again, it's always cool to have the keys.
Yeah.
And if you're not familiar with that term, basically a key means that you have like the first appearance of a character, or the first cover appearance, or first time something happened. It's keys are very popular right now for sure.
And sometimes it's just a classic cover like that Detective 31.
Yeah.
There's nothing special about that book. It's just a great iconic cover.
Yep. That's right. Can't go wrong. All right, let's move on to topic 2. Even this is like really like topic 5 or 6 at this point, but topic 2. So I was talking with, I think Eric was kind of filling us in one day because Eric does a lot with different materials at All Things Art, repair work and things like that. And he was telling us a little bit about that there's a difference between polystone, which is what we talk about all the time. When we think of statues, we think of polystone. I think of it being, like I've got a piece of talon right here. It's solid. It's heavy. It's got, nice weight to it. I feel like it's, as we say, painted rock is what we say. And so I also have heard recently some companies or some custom makers and other people like that say we use PU resin. And so I thought this would be a good topic to kind of fill in people because, again, I didn't know the difference, but Eric kind of filled us in. So Eric, do you want to kind of take us kind of through what you know about the two different materials and why maybe one's better than the other or how it works?
Yeah, I'll break it down to you guys and then we can, I guess, discuss and, decide what we want to talk about. So basically polystone is everything's a resin type of material, like some form of like plastic material, but polystone is basically they take stone dust and add it to the resin. So this way it gives it more like a rock-like appearance or like, a stronger, solid substance to it.
So wait a minute, just I'm gonna stop you. So you said resin is a plastic.
Yes.
And then they add
stone dust.
So this right here.
Everything starts off as a liquid. Yeah.
So this right here has plastic in it.
Would have been also some form of resin plastic.
Interesting.
Form that they add poly. Same way, how they make like fake wood, like particle board.
Yeah.
It's basically wood chips or sawdust, and they put like into like a glue, and then it solidifies, and now you have like a fake piece of wood.
Yeah.
Pretty much what polystone is for rock.
Interesting.
It's like a fake rock.
Yeah. Well, so, I guess we're not too far from when we say painted rock. We're not wrong.
So basically, PU is polyurethane, where it's just straight up plastic. It's the polyurethane. So there's all different types of plastic resins. Specifically, polyurethane is the process of mixing two resins together, and it's a chemical heat reaction that makes it, one solid thing. There's also like UV, to where UV cures the resin and makes it hard. So there's all different ways to make the resin, the liquid form hard. Polyurethane's done through the process of heat. Gets to about 200 degrees and solidifies. So I believe like the topic we wanted to discuss was, would you be happy having like just a straight up PU polyurethane resin statue versus a polystone statue?
Have you personally dealt with PU resin?
I have. I used it recently so sometimes if I have something that's been casted too hollow, I will add PU resin inside of the cast to make it thicker, make the walls of the thing thicker, or just make it solid. I mostly work with UV resin because I do 3D printing. So that's where like a flash of light cures each layer of the resin. And then I also, basically I'll use it for repairs as well as if I need to add weight to something or make it more, solid. So basically plastic in general is lighter than polystone, because polystone, you're getting those little minerals of rock and, so forth, making it heavier.
I was just curious about if PU can take the paint in a similar way that the polystone can, because
it is a little bit different.
Most of us watching are polystone collectors. If you're a Prime One or Sideshow or XM or whoever, Queen Studios, Tweeterhead, they all use some sort of polystone. Some call it different things.
Some form of resin. There's different resins for the plastics, the way they can make it more bendable, pliable. For example, when they do like the cape, it's another form of resin, just a different mixture of resin. So it's a little bit more, like I said, pliable. So it moves around a little bit. But
I remember the very first kind of controversial piece that I remember ever hearing about was Sideshow did a Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
And I remember that got a lot of controversy, or maybe it was even before that. It might have been a Christopher Reeves face portrait, or maybe the whole body, the one where he was up on the dam.
Yeah. Okay.
And like I thought it looked good until people started getting it in hand, and some people had some like it didn't look as good, or like the paint looked weird. I think Swamp Thing looked pretty decent. I remember whenever I saw that in person, I was like, it looked better than I was expecting, because I know it had a lot of controversy. So I was just curious about paint, like if the paint adheres to it the same, or if it still looks the same. I'm sure what most people will notice is the weight.
Yeah, you can get great results painting both, but there is somewhat of a different technique, because the Polystone in general has a little bit more. It's almost like it soaks up the paint a little bit more, because it has a little bit more of like a texture to it, to where like just plastic resin is more like solid on the surface. So it is slightly different painting it, but you can get pretty much the same results.
So this all came up because a few of us here in the panel have purchased some custom statues. And we don't talk about those much here on the channel, but we did find out that they were made of the PU material, the PU resin. So again, I'm assuming that there is not going to be quite as much weight to them as a regular statue that we would expect to come in from like Sideshow or something like that. How do you guys feel about that? Does it make you hesitant knowing that these would be made out of a more of a plastic material versus what we're, used to having from other companies? What do you guys think?
I suspect it's less prone to damage.
Probably a good point.
In a way. Do you care if it's plastic, even if there's weight added to it, or do you prefer does it have to be?
Well, are people bothered by the Blitzway portraits being PVC?
That's a great point, because that is a company that the bodies are polystone, or the base is polystone, but the portraits are PVC, and I didn't know that until you guys let me know that. But like I have my Joker in hand, and I love it. I don't hesitate at all about those, because I've seen the quality myself.
How's the weight of it?
That's
pretty
a heavy.
light. The heavy.
Heavy.
The whole statue is heavy.
The whole statue is heavy, but the head's not heavy.
Oh, it's not. So you can tell a difference between that portrait and say a Prime 1 portrait in the same scale?
I mean, personally, myself, I could tell a difference by just touching the piece, whether it's plastic or polystone.
So this right here is the Joker. Okay. This right here, like you can feel that this is a PVC, but what they've done is that they've put this in the key. The key is plastic, but it's got a magnet in it. Mm-hmm. So that adds a lot of weight to it. But the actual, you could tell by touching it that it's not polystone. But I don't really feel like it took anything away from the sculpt being a PVC material. So like I'm fine with it. I think it turned out great. But if the whole statue is made of PU,
the only thing that bothers me with plastic, having something fully plastic, is one, the weight. If it's weighted correctly, that's fine. The other is for me, I have a pretty much a climate controlled house, but for people that have, live in humid and hot, environments, plastic warps a lot easier than something more solid, such as polystone.
That's true.
We can now start worrying about leans or, like I said, things bending or warping.
All right.
Yeah, what'd you find? You went on a hunt.
Some scientificating.
There you go.
I have here a USPS scale.
Okay. We're doing a little science experiment tonight on Rogues Gallery Live.
Yes, I have here.
Can we apply heat to them?
Same Joker 1/3 portrait that Chris was just showing.
Okay.
And I also have here one Hush Batcave Edition 1/3 portrait.
Okay, polystone.
Both I would say well scaled together.
Yep.
Also depends how much they filled up the inside, though.
Yeah, I don't know. They feel.
I don't know.
Okay.
Let's
just
do it anyway.
So the Batman portrait weighs 15 3/4 ounces. So just shy of a pound, right?
Okay.
The Joker portrait 9 ounces.
Okay, so almost double. And most companies do use the same wall thickness when they cast or print something. So it's
So what's interesting though is I'm surprised by how this, it doesn't, it's double negative, doesn't feel unsubstantial. In other words, it feels substantial. It doesn't feel like a 3D printed piece or, you know, something super lightweight. It feels like it's got a little bit of weight to it.
okay.
It's funny, in hand, it doesn't feel half the weight. That's not how it feels. But yeah, 9 ounces, 16 ounces. So,
But again, I
Yeah.
still feel like the most of that weight is because of the magnet inside.
they use
You-
pretty
you could-
small magnets.
You could
Yeah, they're
feel
not
it.
that heavy.
Whatever this is, I don't know what this whole thing is. It's got the eye mechanism in there too.
Yeah.
And again, this is just one example. I don't have a ton of examples, but what I was saying is, like, would it
Well-
bother you if the whole statue was that lighter material? I mean, we're just talking about a head sculpt, but if the whole statue was lighter material, does that make you hesitate to buy that statue? Does that
No.
lack of weight matter to you?
Do you own anything? I mean, probably, Dan, you know, you've owned a lot of like PVC figures. I know they're smaller, but
Yeah.
does that feel cheaper to you than say like a sideshow
I
statue?
don't know if they're made of the same material though, either. The PVC cheap little figures that I've had, the $50 figures, they don't feel like this material.
Okay.
But no, I don't think it would bother me. I mean, I wouldn't want it to feel super lightweight, like it's easily knocked over, and I don't know. That would if it felt like a toy, that would bother me.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
But if it feels like this Joker piece, I mean, I know the Joker piece base is yeah, there you go.
I mean,
the Joker
yeah,
piece, the base
Go ahead, sorry.
is polystone, so it's really heavy. The whole as a statue as a whole is very heavy if you pick it up and move the whole thing. I don't think it would bother me. I hope it doesn't bother me. I've signed up for 2 of them, or 3 of them actually now, including the Ross Batman. So hopefully it doesn't bother me.
And that's what I got too. I got the Ross Batman. And so it's one of those things where, you know, I had not, and Jeff too. And I know that was one of those that we were very, very excited about. It looks incredible, but we found out that it was PU. And so then we kind of like, oh, does that make us nervous now?
Well, I'll
But,
bring
like-
up another example real quick. Let's go into a different material because you guys probably all seen it as well. The sideshow busts, they're made from fiberglass. To me, I could notice right away there's a difference between the material versus like a bust made out of polystone.
Yeah.
And definitely to me it looks cheaper than.
You think it does look cheaper?
Yeah, I've had a few busts in my house now because I had to work on that Queen Studios Venom, which was pretty much, you know, like a solid statue, a bust, compared to my Joker bust, which is you know, super lightweight. It weighs like 5-10 pounds, and I can just tell it looks like some type of.
Wait a minute. The sideshow bust weighs 10 pounds?
Well, whatever. I mean, it's pretty light. I don't know. You used to have the Harley
Yeah.
bust. Was that very light?
I don't remember it being that light. Maybe it was. I can't remember
Mine's
now.
pretty light. Yeah, I have the Joker. He's light compared to like.
I was never bothered by the Harley looking cheaper or anything like that.
Yeah, I wasn't either.
In fact,
I
I
mean-
boxed her up and put her on my website, and I think I might keep her. I kind of miss her having her in the sanctuary.
She's a great piece.
Yeah.
Also, you know, or like Everyday Collector mentioned about the Fab Box cape. I love that. I love that they did it in a lighter weight material.
Yep.
Not only for like breakage, I don't worry about it. Like I don't worry about it. I don't worry about a lean, which is the problem that I have with my Hush.
Maybe 25 pounds.
How
And
much?
it helps.
About 25 pounds.
Oh,
but
25.
compared to,
Okay,
like,
25.
other busts that I've seen with, you know, solid material, so I can barely lift the thing by myself. Like it's pretty light.
CC says Eric also probably lifts, so that's probably why it felt so lightweight to you.
Could have been a day I was working out.
So also, I think that the big plus, obviously, is if it could save us shipping weight, you know, that shipping cost, that is a major plus, in my opinion. I'm to the point now, as long as it looks quality,
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care as long as it looks good in hand. And especially if it, you know, makes the box smaller, or if it makes the, you know, box weigh less to ship it to us, that's phenomenal. I just don't want it to feel like a toy. I don't want it to feel
Well, this
like
came
a,
up
like a
because
$20 plastic statue.
this came up because, like you said, we were looking at customs. I mean, to our knowledge, the licensed studios are still using a mixture of Polystone, and then maybe, for like the cape or something like that, they'll use a lighter resin material. So
Right.
this was more like, 'cause I noticed that a lot of these custom groups were just using straight up PU resin. That's why this came up. I've never owned a statue that was straight up PU resin. I own 3D printed stuff that I 3D printed myself, and I can tell you there's a big difference between it being lightweight and quality. I can take one of my 3D printed pieces right here and I'll throw it across the room and not worry about it breaking or anything happening to it. I'll tell you that. I definitely wouldn't do that to my Prime 1 statue and throw it across the room. So
they're solid.
Yeah.
Everyday Collector says, I'm curious about the Legendary Beast Hulk will be executed. So Jeff, you have the other Legendary Beast. Are they pretty really heavy, or do you think Hulk will be solid, or do you think it'll be a little bit more hollow?
Jay doesn't like hollow.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So yeah, the LBS Hulk with one torso is 160 pounds. That's shipped. So take away the XM quality packaging from 2 boxes, and what are you left with? Maybe 120 pounds, something like that. So no, I think it's going to be Polystone. It's going to be quality. I'm not concerned at all. But Thor is extremely heavy. Cap isn't too bad, but Thor is very heavy. So I have no concerns about Legendary Beast at all.
Good. Maxigorn says, aren't all statues printed? How are they mass produced? I don't really, I assume that they're casted. I don't think they're printed.
They are 3D printed first, and then they take the 3D print and make a mold of it and then pour in
so
resin or Polystone resin, whatever the material they use in the.
I think we can go back even further. Obviously, first there's a sculpt, and sometimes it's traditional clay, but you're seeing less and less of that. So then it would be done on ZBrush. That's when it would be printed at that point. Sometimes if it's still clay, I would assume that it could be digitally scanned, which I would assume is probably what happens these days. It probably was mold and cast in the old days, but now I'm assuming they just scan it.
Technically, a company could 3D print every single statue. It's actually more money to do that than making a cast and then just pouring in the liquid and making a mold out of the original.
Haven't we also heard that plastic a lot of times is more expensive than the Polystone?
Yeah, we've actually spoken to a company. I forget who it was on the show, and he said the same thing. Like if you have to 3D print or use the plastic is more money, and so it's like spending the time to print it takes longer.
So it's funny that we think plastic, we think, oh, it's not as good or it's a toy, but it's interesting that in times it's more expensive than the actual other material.
So depending on the edition size, they'll make a few molds, because a mold will only last a certain amount of casts. They might only get like 100 casts out of it before it starts losing quality, and then they'll switch to another mold that they have to make. So it depends on the edition.
Digface says, I want my statues to be heavy. Light statues to me is cheap. Well, and again, sometimes the price doesn't reflect that. It's still, again, some of these customs are quite a bit of money. But again, as long as the quality is good. Says Spiral Studios, I've not heard of them. Uses mostly PU resin in their statues. Detail and weight don't seem to be issue from their releases, but it probably depends on the level of quality the studio uses. And coming from us, we're not really experts in custom. We don't have a ton of them. I had my Queen Studios bust before they were licensed. I'm trying to think if I've ever had any other pieces. I don't remember. Have you guys ever had?
Superman. I had a Cavill Superman, and the weight on that seemed fine.
Okay. So, maybe we have nothing to worry about, but I did think it was interesting to at least talk about, because again, I had never heard of the difference, and I want to thank Eric for kind of enlightening us on it.
You and Jeff did have received 3D printed pieces from the companies as prototypes, because that's what they use as the prototype.
Yeah.
And they are very light now compared to. But apparently, these custom groups are claiming that their statues, even though they're PU resin, aren't as lightweight as something that's 3D.
Yeah, like I've had both. I've had some that are as light as an action figure, that light, and I've had some that are pure Polystone. But then usually the final product is pure Polystone, even if the prototype was just a lightweight material. Right. So I think it just depends on the company and whatever process they use. Obviously, too. I know that they ship prototypes back and forth to each other so they can do quality checks or whatever. And so if it's like a plastic piece, that's going to be way cheaper to ship, initially when it's in the prototype stage than it is And again, that paint on that plastic looks fantastic.
And you mentioned
unless you're holding it, you can't tell.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Swamp Thing from Sideshow. I'm convinced that the only reason they made that with vinyl is because there were so many roots and tendrils coming out of him. It would have been a breakage nightmare if they had used Polystone for that piece.
Yeah.
And I still think that piece looked great. I think what people were upset about is I don't think they disclaimed it at first. Like, I don't think that they said in the materials of what it
was. No, they did. It was a big topic of conversation on the statue forum.
So people just didn't notice it, or I don't remember what the deal was at the time.
No, there was a big controversy about it. There was a lot of talk about it. I even messaged the sculptor on Facebook, and he had just learned that they were going to use vinyl. He was surprised, but he said that he had done some work for some custom companies that had used that product, and they came out great. So he was not disappointed in any way.
Another case of when this has gone wrong and people weren't happy is, remember the Sideshow Doomsday when the head was like some type of squishy vinyl material and people were squeezing it?
Yeah,
like a rubber duck.
Like a rubber duck.
I want to be able to squish my statues.
Yeah, right.
I think Chris would risk not getting to have protos and early information from licensed companies if he does that. I'm not sure.
Oh, somebody said focus on talking about customs instead of licensed statues or something.
Yeah. So we do talk about customs occasionally, but it's not something that we feature on the channel for various reasons. But there is no question there's beautiful art out there. It's just a personal preference for some of us, but again, there are a few pieces I have ordered. A quarter scale Doomsday. Solomon Grundy. And I've ordered the Batman. So there's a few that I have coming. So I'm very, very excited. And I'm even more excited, I think, for what Dan's getting in. I'm excited to see his. Real curious about the quality there. Because, again, there's some good stuff out there.
Yeah.
And, again, like somebody said earlier, it's like we might see more of that if companies slow down. So we'll see. It might be a big advantage for them right now. So we'll see. Especially at low ES sizes. Anything else you guys want to talk about with that topic?
No, let's move on. Like I said, it was mostly about customs, and I think majority of us don't have to worry about all that.
Yeah. Well, we could do topic 3, or we could move on to photos. It's 8:16 my time. Do you guys want to move on to photos?
Photos.
Sure.
Por favor.
All right, let's do it.
There he is.
All right, can you guys see these okay? Whoops, sorry.
Yep.
Okay. Click down the wrong thing. Okay. So let's start with this guy. How great and crazy is this thing?
It looks awesome. Yeah.
I freaking love this.
I figured you would. I think this is right up your alley.
I absolutely love that.
This is from Queen Studios. I don't know if it's considered a life size. I don't think it's considered life size, but it's
no, it's not life size.
I don't know what size it is, but it's really impressive. So at first I thought it was the full dinosaur.
I think it's like third scale.
And really it's like a plaque. So here's some more photos of it in better lighting.
It could be a third scale.
Yeah, third or half maybe.
It could
Probably
be.
third.
Average T-Rex full adult head was like 6 to 7 feet long. So
basically it's like a plaque where he's like busting through it.
Yeah.
I think you're going to have an option of displaying it like this or literally mounting it on a wall.
That would be cool.
That would be cool. It'd be probably a lot cheaper to do the wall mounting.
I don't know. How heavy is that? They better use plastic to make that.
Yeah, I was going to say he needs to be PU resin.
You know what the fear is with this is the shipping, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to pay whatever this is going to be, $7,000-8,000 or whatever. And then what shipping's going to be what, $2,000 on this thing?
I mean, from the neck up, it looks like it's one solid piece.
It does.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's got to be massive. I mean, this is definitely going to be one of the Queen Studios crates.
The crates, yeah.
That we've been seeing. And I can absolutely imagine Art Statue Collector having this in his display.
Like, do you see any seam lines to where you think it's to me? It just looks like one big piece.
I think all of him is one piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the plaque is another piece, and then that keys into the rock.
Yeah, you can definitely tell the back most likely comes off, like Jeff was saying, to mount it to the wall.
Yeah.
Like that rubble.
But it is nuts. I mean, look at it's so cool.
I love it.
So,
I want to put it over the TV in my living room.
I bet Mrs. Wayne Manor North would love that.
I really, really do. I mean, every bat cave needs a dinosaur, right? So,
oh man, Dan, you just gave me a really good idea.
You're
welcome.
welcome.
No. I am a third scale collector.
There you go.
Oh, how great would that be to have this in the penny?
Oh my God.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, for Batman, right?
That's what I'm just saying. You gave me the idea. How great would that be to have a bat cave?
Yep.
That'd be cool.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
Oh,
Tell
no.
Another 17 grand.
I'm in trouble. I got to quickly move on from this one. Oh, here. This is even better photo. I love this one.
Better.
Yeah, look at that. Look at how great that is.
I mean, geez. Yeah.
That's cool.
That's cool.
See, I can justify that way more than Vampirilla, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Look at the teeth. It's just dripping down. It's really crazy. Really crazy. Oh, come on in. Sorry. I'm having somebody deliver me a tea.
Nice.
Thank you very much. Do you want to say hi on camera?
I will.
Can they see you?
Hello. I'm not sure if you can see me, but
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That was Locke.
That was Locke.
That was Locke.
A rare Locke visit. Yeah.
That's right. Guess who drove me around town today?
Oh, no way.
Ledger.
Ledger.
He's got his driver's license. Everybody stay off the road.
He got his license?
Yeah, he has his learners.
Okay. Wow.
So he last weekend we were in Tulsa, moving. My father-in-law is staying up here all summer with us. And his wife passed away last year at this time, and so he's going to stay up here for the summer. And so we went down to Tulsa to help move him, and Ledger drove all around Tulsa even. So it's pretty crazy.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Wow. Like I said, everybody stay off the road. This is a photo today of the 1/3 scale bat pod. They made real tires on it, which is what's caused the delay. It actually rolls.
Yeah, it looks good.
Does it look a little small for 1/3?
It does. And when I saw somebody comment that this was 1/3, I thought, wow, it does not look like 1/3.
So you guys know I have this on pre-order. What I'm worried about is that if I wanted to pair it up with my other Dark Knight pieces, I think it would pair up with my Queen Studios ones, but I do have obviously my Heath Ledger Joker from Prime 1, which is the one I like the best. And so I'm really worried about a difference in size. So I'm kind of, at this point, I'm kind of hesitant to keep it. I don't know. What do you guys think?
It looks so much smaller. It could be just the video or this snapshot or
the angle, maybe.
The angle. I don't know what it is, but I look at that.
Yeah,
and I put my own hand next to the wheel on the White Knight bike, right, Chris? And that's quarter scale. Now,
right.
I know these are bat pods, bat cycles that we're talking about, so scale is kind of broken to begin with. But it doesn't. My hand on this wheel doesn't look any different than his hand next to that wheel.
Yeah,
and that's quarter.
And this is quarter.
Yeah,
but I don't know. That doesn't look like 1/3 to me.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have some decisions to make.
Could be wrong, by the way. I don't know. It just, if we've learned anything, it's that photos and video can be misleading.
Exactly. And this is the very first one out of the gate. So I probably need to hashtag restrain a little bit. But I did want to share that with everyone. This is from Penguin X Toys. This is the same company and also
Limit.
Yeah, Limit Studio. Thank you. This was the same company that just did my Killing Joke Joker bust, but this is the updated Superman sculpt. Do you guys think it's better?
Way better.
Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised. Like when they said they were going to tweak it, I was like, oh, it's just going to come back with a small tweak and people are still going to hate it. They really revamped this. It looks really good.
This was the original.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
And that's the original, and this is the updated. So
I
big
like that a
difference.
lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks way more Superman-like. I think they extended the cape out just a little bit. The cape was kind of short on this one.
Yep.
They've kept everything else the same as far as I could tell. I mean, the base is the same. But yeah, that
You're
portrait.
You're getting 2 capes, custom or sculpted and fabric.
That's cool. So I'm assuming the fabric would go straight down.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So again, I think they just made a really great change. Obviously, they listened to feedback, and that's very, very important. And so I'm excited. I'm excited for this company. Again, I will tell you guys the quality on the Killing Joke was really impressive. I was a little bit nervous because I had never bought anything really from them. And so I would absolutely recommend them. It was quality. It was heavy as can be, maybe too heavy. But that base was incredibly solid, and it looks great in person.
Imagine how heavy this one will be.
Oh, I think it'll be heavier.
Yeah.
But
And the
I
price
just
is about the same.
yeah. So I mean, maybe they can lighten up the base just a little bit for shipping cost because the shipping's quite a bit. But I think it's really great. It's exciting to think that they might do a whole bunch of different characters. I hope they do. Maybe we'll get some. Maybe we'll get some rare characters this way. But who knows? I would assume they'll do a Wonder Woman next.
Or Batman.
Yeah, be really cool. So anyway, it's got LED lights on this one, which so did the Joker, which is cool. So anyway, there's the light up feature on him. But
he's just too big for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably a little too big for the Sanctuary.
It's a great piece, though. It's nice.
Yeah, it's neat. I love the base and the colors and the skyline. It's a neat piece. So since our last show, believe it or not, we haven't actually seen the full reveal of Two-Face. Again, this is available at tweeterhead.com. Again, I highly recommend you guys order direct from them if you want $25 off if you pay in full. And again, it's quarter scale at Sideshow. Also at Sideshow, you can get the 6 scale, or you can get the 6 scale at Tweeterhead. I am so excited about this. Again, having him in hand, I just cannot wait to add him to the collection. Of course, this is what we were talking about earlier, where they had to blank out the dynamite. And also, I just love that it's got the little matchstick on it. Again, could there have been more switch outs? Again, they wanted to do more, guys. Trust me. But what do you guys think of him overall?
Turned out great.
Yeah, I think he looks awesome. And you know what's funny is I've seen other pictures that do him a lot more justice. Like these close-ups.
Yeah.
He looks really good.
Yeah, those side profiles look really good.
Yeah.
I like the simplicity of his pose. I just like he kind of looks like he's intimidating. Some people pointed out that the eyeball situation was where they were looking in 2 different directions. They are going to correct that. All these photos were taken before they made that change. Some people have liked that they're going in 2 different directions. They think he makes him look crazier. So of course you can't win everybody, but I think that they will.
I like that the regular, the unburned face is looking upwards, but now if they make the monster side of the face look upwards, then he's not looking at the coin anymore.
Yeah, I was going to say you have to have this the clean side looking at the coin. So I'm assuming that that's what they'll do. But
I like that he's looking up. Kind of looks like he's thinking about something, like making a decision.
I love that it's kind of a nod to the animated series with the black and white suit. I know when I was talking with Chad initially, again, I've seen this one in development for a long time, and just trying to play with the different colors and what suits you could do, and I always recommended black and white. I thought that would look really cool, and we talked about the skin color and things like that. But this is what they ended up with, and congratulations to everybody that picks it up. I really think that again, if you guys want characters like this made, you guys have to buy it. So continue to support Tweeterhead, order from Sideshow or wherever you want to order from. But if you want more characters made like this, we have to support the companies, guys.
He's going to be very display friendly too.
Oh, so low profile.
Yeah.
I can absolutely, again, I'm in my bunker space. I'm planning on trying to recreate my Sideshow display. And, I just think he'll be like front and center because he won't take up any room. It'll be perfect.
Same as Catwoman.
He's also going to display equally well with Tweeterhead or Sideshow pieces, I think.
Yep.
I 100% agree. I think he'll fit in. I know some people were concerned about that. I don't think you have to be concerned at all. I think he'll absolutely fit in. And you know, a lot of the people that worked on this are people that worked on Sideshow premium formats in the past. So, you know, it's those same quality of artists that have done Sideshow pieces as well. So I think, you know, you're going to have really great quality with this piece. And again, having it in hand, I loved it. I loved it. I was so excited.
Yeah, I put together that mock-up photo with all the Sideshow pieces, and
yes,
I think a few Tweeterhead. They looked awesome together.
They did. And this is the actual prototype here, guys. So again, if you didn't see the photos in Facebook, this is the photo I took of the prototype. He is being shipped off as we speak, and I think chances are, I think Jeff, you'll see him at Monster Palooza.
They advertised it.
Yeah. So I would assume this is the one you're going to see in person.
Yeah.
So very excited.
So up close, is there texture to the suit?
Oh yes.
I
don't know if you can see it on camera.
Yeah.
But there is some texture to the suit. You especially noticed it on the black side and a little bit less on the white. But it's definitely textured. The collar, the cufflinks are, you know, that shirt, the white shirt underneath is a smooth material, but yeah, there's definitely texture to him.
Chris, these pictures do the statue way more justice than their professionally shot pictures.
Really?
Yeah, I think this gives you the burnt side of his face. It just looks a lot more. The paint looks more, I don't know, interesting. The textures and the you know, wet look versus dry, and I don't know. To me, it just looks a lot more complex and a lot cooler.
It's very cool paint wise in person, and I've said this for a long time. I hate when companies do like the dark background, like the black background, because it just washes everything out.
Yeah.
And I know why they do that, because they want to make it dramatic, but at the same time, I feel like you just lose a lot. So I'm really glad that I could do these pictures, because again, it just lets you highlight what it would really look like in a collection, you know?
Yep.
And they have nothing to hide. I mean, they don't need it to be a dark. It's phenomenal awesome. The way it is.
Yep.
This was the brand new premium format that kind of came out of nowhere. Although I think that they worked on it a long time ago, actually, because I think the artist said that he worked on it a few years back. But this is iron.
Bust, actually.
Yeah, this is the bust that goes with it. So there's a bust, and then there's a premium format as well. And is the bust swappable, or is this going to be like a life-size bust? Do you have any idea?
They haven't told us yet.
I just assumed it was, or I think I've got another picture where he's small. Maybe I'm not sure. Let me go through these.
Yeah,
so
there's a picture that shows them together.
Yeah,
but they're two separate items. They don't go together.
So this is Eddie from Iron Maiden. If you're an Iron Maiden fan, I thought it was really cool. What do you guys think of this one? I think it's really neat. They're doing something different.
I love it.
Yeah, it's cool.
19 inches high. And he is a true premium format, so it's very, very cool. Again, great colors. He's got the kind of the Civil War. No, I guess it would be not Civil War. It'd be
Revolutionary War.
Yeah, Revolutionary. Thank you.
This will be more budget friendly too. I think XM did one, right? He's like on a horse or something.
I think they did.
A dragon. He's on a dragon.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah.
But it's cool. It's got the British flag, and it's got the.
I had a chance to see that at Comic-Con. It was nice.
It's got the different body parts laying around the ground.
Cool.
It's neat. I just think this turned out really awesome.
I was a huge Iron Maiden fan as a kid.
It's just really cool.
It's really cool.
Again, it's got the sword with the blood on it and the flag. So again, it looks really cool. I'm really glad for collectors that are going to be able to pick this one up. It is up for pre-order now, and this is the bust. So I don't know what size that. I mean, I guess it would still be considered quarter scale.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I guess when you put it next to the other one, yeah, maybe quarter or third.
Heads look about the same. So I don't know. It might be maybe that weird Bizarro scale that Sideshow does.
Yeah.
With their kind of their medium bust. So, but it looks cool.
So this is fully Sideshow, not in like conjunction with anybody.
Right.
Yeah, it's the Sideshow.
Okay.
Yeah, the XM one was in association with Divine, the one who did the Aphrodite 9 and the Angelus.
So yeah, this is just Sideshow.
Chris, were you a Maiden fan?
I like Maiden. They're not my top 15 or 20.
Yeah.
But I like any of that genre of music. But yeah, I they're just not my favorite, but I do like them. Let's talk about this. So this is, I did a video, I think a few of you saw it, talking about the statue, and I just felt like it wasn't up to par. And I guess that's kind of putting it mildly, but XM has responded today, and they have said that they're tweaking it. Their tweak apparently was just some paint tweak and not a sculpt tweak. Did you guys see that today?
Yeah.
So what is your opinion of this piece, and what is your opinion of their response?
You don't
I
have that before and after pic, do you?
I don't.
Okay.
So we don't know if that's final though, if that's just going to be a paint tweak or if they're because it feels like XM. I don't know what Ang said. It kind of felt like he said he was going to maybe mess with the sculpt.
I did think the paint tweak looked better.
Yeah,
for sure. But what do you think of the piece overall? Do you think this is a miss?
I think. Oh, gotcha.
No, you go ahead.
I think she looks very pretty. I just like people said, she looks emotionless, and I don't know if I love the pose, but I think the face looks pretty. I feel like it's something like you would see like in a comic book panel, like where she's maybe like flying through the air doing like some weird pose, and I don't know if that translates well to 3D form on a statue in real life.
A lot of people, mentioned that they thought it looked lifeless. And all the other statues, the Superman and Batman, they're all kind of in battle. They're all kind of more enraged or determined, whereas she just seems kind of passive.
But in their defense, I feel like anytime we've seen a rage face on a Wonder Woman statue, people hate it.
Yep.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
So I feel like they're going to change it, and people aren't going to like it. It's going to be
could just be determined. It doesn't have to be rage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I do feel like, and I said it in the video, I feel like if they just tweak the face a bit, I don't love this pose with the lasso, but I do like the one with the spear. I think that looks pretty good.
See, that looks, I like that a lot.
Yeah, see, I think that looks good. And so I think that if they, obviously you can have the option to do whatever, but I feel like if they just improve the portrait, that this would be a lot cooler. I still don't love the space base. This is supposed to be a classic Wonder Woman, so I don't necessarily understand what they were going for here.
It's supposed to be a battle on Apocalypse. So this is supposed to be Apocalypse stuff, but it doesn't read that way to me at all. I think the whole line is a miss.
Yeah. And again, I love Mark Brooks and I love his work and his art. I've met him a number of times. And I just don't feel like it is translated very well in this piece, especially. So hopefully they'll be able to tweak it. I think the paint looks good. I think the sculpt, in areas looks really nice, but hopefully they'll be able, again, in a market where people are being really choosy right now. I just feel like companies really have to bring their A game on all their pieces. And I don't feel like we're quite there on an A game piece yet, but XM is listening, and hopefully they will continue to tweak this one and people will love it.
I feel like they were listening, and it backfired because we've been saying for years, how many times are we going to get Batman on a gargoyle? How many times are we going to get Superman on on a piece of ice, or Wonder Woman on some architectural base, and then they finally do something different and nobody likes the bases.
Yep.
The reaction to this one though was, I have never seen a reaction like the reaction to this piece.
It was bad.
Not only you, Chris, but Jem also did a video, just like a WTF video. I've never seen such an immediate, visceral, negative reaction to a piece in all my collecting days.
Yeah, it was immediate. I was real surprised by it too. And I actually found out about Jim's after the fact. I haven't even watched his yet. But again, I'm pretty positive in most of my things. And so that's why I just felt like I saw so much negativity toward it. I thought, well, maybe we could get some interest out there to get it changed. And so that's why I did the video I did, hoping that XM would see it and make some changes.
I still don't like the pose.
Obviously they will. I mean, they're gonna change some things, but I mean, this is not one that I'm buying, but I know there are a lot of Wonder Woman collectors out there, and so hopefully they'll make the best product they can make.
She looks like she's in a marching band or something.
I said, look like Jack LaLanne, like she's on a workout video.
Yeah, there you
Like,
go.
oh, why would you have a spear behind your neck? Like she's
Well,
trying to
now no one's
spear,
ever going to be able to
yeah,
not
trying
see
to-
that.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about this guy. Dan, did you see this?
Patriotic Killer Croc.
Okay, so I am excited about Killer Croc. This is the Samurai Killer Croc. Obviously, they're teasing him. I hate the red, white, and blue.
Yeah, that's a miss.
What are they doing?
I'm not even sure they know that they did that. You know what I mean? And you know what's funny, Chris? I got to tell you, I've got the Sideshow Killer Croc premium format that I bought actually earlier this year. Way underrated piece.
Way.
Next on the side, got it. Aside from that, way underrated piece. The textures, the paint, everything look just like this.
Yep.
On that piece. I mean, this looks fine. Okay. Yeah, it's Croc, but I'm not sure. They're not enticing me with this picture at all.
Do you think if they painted the blue part black, it would be different?
Yep.
I do too, because I know what they're going for. They're going for that kind of that twirled rope,
Which is fine.
which is fine. But I just feel like if they made that black, and again, we haven't seen the front of the statue, so I don't know what they're going for here. Obviously, some sort of belt, like a cinched belt, maybe. But if it stays that color, I probably won't be interested. But again, I might eat my words later. But I was just real surprised by the red, white, and blue color.
I mean, I'm sure it's going to look really cool. All the samurai pieces look really cool. Ultimately.
Yeah.
Some of them more so than others, but I don't know if this was meant to be a tease or just a leaked.
It could be. It could be. It's a very bright photo too.
It's also, it's a little bit overexposed and whatnot.
Do you have any more room for any samurai pieces?
I'm not doing any more samurai.
No matter what.
No.
Wow.
Not even for freeze. I've got 9 pre-orders right now, and that's about all. And each piece has a place.
Okay.
I have none that I don't have a spot for. If I was to give you guys a tour around my room right now, you'd see there are quite a few empty spots.
It's making room.
Because I'm making room and I've got a plan. And it just doesn't include any more samurai. And it's not because I don't like them. It's just I feel like, okay, I've got, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them now that I've held on to. None of them I want to sell. I really love them. But I've got to keep it there. I got to the point where I got so carried away that it looked like, half my collection was samurai, and I didn't want that.
Did I tell you I ordered Riddler?
Oh, you did?
I did.
Whoa, big move.
I
I like that piece.
I do
like
too.
that one a lot. Yeah.
It's I don't love the portrait as much. I wish the portrait was a little bit better, but I like the aesthetic of the bonsai tree and everything, or whatever the tree is. But I do like the piece. But I ordered it a couple weeks back.
I think his portrait fits the pose.
I do too. I mean, it does work.
Yeah, it works.
It works.
I like it a lot.
I'll be able to fill up that front space with those, I think, and still have enough division. So we'll see how much. We'll see. I don't know if I'll go Croc or Freeze either.
Yeah.
But I do. Obviously, I have Scarecrow coming as well.
Yeah, still didn't ship right. Huh.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with it. I mean, it's
crazy. And by the way, White Knight Joker. I think I've said it on nearly every show now, but White Knight Joker, still nothing on that one either. Pieces that should have been out a long time ago, quite frankly. But
I wonder if they're having factory problems.
I don't know.
This I love. This is just shown today. This is from Infinity Studios. This is part of their half scale line.
Yep.
This is from Lord of the Rings. Look how good this is.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
I love it. And I think they said that they're going to go really deep into this line too. That they're going to keep doing them. But look at that.
These seem like would be awesome that if you have a home theater room.
Oh, brilliant.
3 of these on either side, kind of flanking the screen
just even like if you had on the sides, like some podiums.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Exactly.
Like between movie posters or something, like it would just be
phenomenal.
Just absolutely incredible. I was really impressed with this. And again, it's got a really good base. Obviously this is a smaller character. But man, I just think he looks great.
You can hang the dinosaur on the wall somewhere.
That's right.
I am a huge John Rhys Davies fan, going all the way back to Raiders of the Lost Ark. And I just have to tell you, just a side note, one of the nicest individuals you will ever meet. He's like your grandpa, just the nicest guy. My wife and I were at a con in Providence, Rhode Island, and he and Kharon Allen, who played Marion in Raiders of the Lost Ark, were making an appearance there. We were staying in the same hotel. Just by chance, my wife and I got into an elevator with the two of them. They had just been having dinner. We're in the elevator, and they couldn't get there. Like John Rhys Davies couldn't figure out how to get to his room. He had forgotten what floor he was on. He didn't have his and the two of them like fumbling together, and they were laughing with us, and just the nicest people.
Well,
the statue.
I am horrified right now because I had absolutely no idea that he played him.
No way.
Until you just said that.
That's awesome.
Because I love him from Indy, and obviously he's in the new one.
He's in the new one. Yeah.
Oh, and I love the Indiana Jones ride, and he's in the little spiel at the beginning.
Yep.
Very dangerous. Jeff knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I had no idea this was him.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, that makes me love him even more now.
Yep.
So the price though, $3,199.
Oh, so he's half scale.
Is he silicone?
Half scale. His head looks silicone.
It looks it, yeah.
And it says platinum silicone. Oh, so obviously, yeah, silicone, polystone, fabric, paper, and PU.
Yeah, so he's got a silicone face, and if that's hand punched hair in that beard,
beards,
that would justify the price alone.
250 total units, international 150, and Asia Pacific 100.
He's going to be popular, I bet.
I think so too. And again, like if we looked at that face, I mean that definitely is silicone.
Yeah, look at that. That's awesome.
And the teeth, look at the teeth. That's so good.
Yeah.
I can't believe that's him. I didn't have no idea. Mm-hmm. Here's your Batman, Dan. Actually, this isn't yours. This is our friend Billy's.
Speaking of big pieces, you got room for that there? I didn't realize how big this thing is. He's like 27 inches wide, 20 inches deep.
Is it all cape?
Probably, yeah. The cape looks like it flares out pretty wide.
It's got to be. So this is the Jim Lee Art Edition. It does have the Robert Pattinson portrait, which we're seeing here. We just did a review on my channel. There's a review on Eric's channel also, if you haven't checked that one out. Again, it's all things art. But there's 3 different portraits. There's like a Jason Fabok portrait, a Jim Lee portrait, and then obviously the Pattinson. But I think he looks great. Again, my biggest dilemma is I've got the Pattinson movie version coming. Look at that.
Yeah, come on.
So again, the question is, do I get both? I just don't know. I still don't know.
It's a very different looking piece than the other one, I think. But
especially with the suit. The suit reminds me a lot of like the Batman Damned, where it's just like all different stuff thrown together. Like,
yeah. So let me ask you this. If I was going to get this one or the Keaton Batman, which one do you think I should get?
If you don't buy that Keaton Batman, there may be an uprising in the community.
I know. I actually can't believe people haven't hunted me down yet.
I'd go Keaton.
Yeah.
I do think Keaton would obviously pair really nicely with the Pattinson one.
He would.
But I still love this. I especially love the cape. I think that's what I love the most about it.
That is an epic looking piece.
It's so good. This was, I don't remember who sent this one in, but it shows the size difference between the portraits. I think they look pretty close.
That's from Billy, right?
Yeah, these are Billy's photos.
Yeah. So it looked in the other one like he had tilted the one in his hand down or backward. Yeah, that looked like it's tilting back a little, and I think that's skewing how it looks pretty comparable to me.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, a little bit bigger maybe.
I think he was saying, so on this one you can see it looks a little bit bigger, but his hand does look like it might be a little bit closer to the camera.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's close, but obviously they're both Fabok
I think
heads.
those two are very close, and I think the other two are close to it, but I think the Hush, he just has a longer face because it's more Jim Lee style. So the one on the right, it's like a mixture of Jim Lee style mixed with, trying to make it look like Pattinson. He's not going to give him a giant long, jaw and chin.
Yeah. I mean, it fits the body, obviously. I mean, it's going to be.
It just looks awesome.
It just looks awesome.
That looks awesome, but I don't know if I would have displayed the Fabok portrait. I mean, especially if you have Detective 1000.
Yeah. I'll be displaying the Jim Lee portrait on it.
Yeah, I would do that one right there.
I would do Jim Lee or the Pattinson.
Yeah. Let's move on. We got a new lineup from Hot Toys. Obviously, the Spider-Verse is going to be hitting the theaters here real soon.
This
is the
weekend.
new, yeah, that's right. This is the Miles Morales. I thought got a really cool backdrop. The hands and feet coming through.
So that movie has the best reviews I've ever seen for a comic book movie.
Really?
Yeah.
The first one was amazing.
I still haven't seen the first one.
It's fun.
Really good.
It visually messes you up. There's so much going on. I was getting dizzy the first 5 minutes. I had to like adjust to how the way that the animation style is. It's crazy.
I love that style though. I love it the way it looks. Very comic booky, you know. That's a great thing about it. But anyway, I hope this one does really well. Obviously, again, they've already got figures that are going to be coming out. Miles Morales there, and then they also have a Spider-Man 2099, which looks more like a figure to me than a Hot Toys, but he looks cool. Look at that.
Wow.
Very dynamic and stylized.
It's like straight from the cover.
That's cool. Obviously, this one's got the rolling eyeballs and kind of a light up effect with, I'm assuming, black light.
Luminous reflective effect.
Yeah.
It's probably that glow in the dark paint.
Yeah, probably so. And then they also have teased what looks like every Batman suit, which is crazy. We've got a blue and black Batman. Obviously, it's got the 89 and the returns in the background, and then obviously some suits that we're going to see in the movie.
So is this 6 scale? Like this is like sale, right? You could buy this.
They've just teased this one image, so I'm assuming that these will all be released kind of similar to what they did with the Tony Stark Armory.
Okay.
I would assume that they'll do something real similar with this. But it looks cool.
Yeah, I kind of want this.
And then we also have the Hot Toys Modern Suit Batman. I think this looks awesome. I think that's a really good portrait. I know some people have said it's not quite right, but I just feel like it's pretty damn good. There's no questioning who that is.
It's close. Yeah.
Some people have said maybe the hair could be a little bit better. But so on a scale of 1 to 10 or 100%, how much Michael Keaton time do we get in that Flash movie? Is it like 20%?
He's in like, what do you want? Just Keaton's time or like
yeah, Batman time.
He's in the movie a lot. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
Well, you want to know more?
Okay, I'm happy. That sounds more than 20%.
More than 20%.
Okay, good. I'm be real thrilled.
It's basically a Flash, and there's no spoilers because they're in the trailers. It's a Flash, Supergirl, and Keaton movie.
Yeah. But anyway, that's a great figure from Hot Toys. It's up for pre-order right now. But I think that looks cool.
Apparently what I watched was the director's cut, and there was a few scenes missing. So I already have tickets to go see it again. I'm curious to see what else is going to be in it.
Oh, so I wonder if the runtime will be a little longer.
I don't know.
Obviously, it's got the different interchangeable lower faces. I think that looks great. I think it looks just like him.
Chris, do both you and Jeff have your tickets?
I do not. I live in a small town, so you don't really ever need to pre-order tickets. I don't know if I'd go opening night. I might. Sometimes I like to just let that crowd go through, and then our town's small enough that if everybody goes the first night, then there's hardly anybody the other nights. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. What about you guys? Do you already have your tickets?
Yeah, I bought tickets for both this and Indiana Jones.
Yep, me too.
I'm the same way. I don't like when the theater's crowded, but I did go the first. I got tickets for the 15th, whatever, that Thursday, whatever it is.
Yep, me too.
Yeah, worth it.
Same with Indy. I got opening night tickets for Indy.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I'm really excited about Indy. I hope it's good.
I hope so too.
Does your theaters out there have the lounge recliners where you can lay back and stuff? I'm talking about Chris because he said
no, ours doesn't.
Oh, really? You don't get
they have that. They have we have an IMAX in Manhattan, and that's an hour away from here. We just have like an 8 theater. We used to have like 5 or 6 theaters in our hometown, and then it consolidated to 1 in our mall. And it's just like 8 theaters, and it's nothing special. No reclining seats, no like food. I mean, other than popcorn or like nachos.
Yeah, I don't like the food, but I'm so spoiled from having to be able to put my feet up during a movie. It's like I hate watching movies in regular seats.
Yeah. We have they have a bunch of those in like Kansas City and stuff like that, but we don't have it here. Our town's about not quite 50,000 people, so we don't have the nice things.
We got a Cinemark came into town.
That's what I have
years ago, and it's reclined. Not only they recline, they're heated.
Oh wow! I don't have that.
Take a nap on those things.
They are heated, yeah, and it's just right in the lumbar. So when you're an old dude like us, it's just the right spot.
That's awesome.
Next, we need some massage chairs in the theater.
Exactly.
We just have it's like the basic AMC basically, So it's it's the old seats from when the mall opened in the 80s. So it's like nothing special. It would be great if we could get an IMAX or something, but. That'd be fun, actually. Maybe that's what I'll do is I'll go see it in IMAX in Manhattan. That'd be fun.
There you go.
Yeah, make a trip.
This is a 10 scale from McFarlane. McFarlane just announced today that they've re-upped their contract. Warner Brothers is very, very happy with the way things are going. They have the highest sales ever, and so they're doing more statues, obviously. This is a new Harley Quinn. Definitely a different look for her. I kind of dig this one. The portrait's a little weird. But it's based on specific art.
Yeah, something about it. I like it.
What do you guys think about it?
I don't know. I'm torn. Yeah, I saw this earlier too, and I'm still torn. I like it. It's very accurate. It's from the Harley Quinn or Harlequin or whatever it was, the magazine size Black Label book that they did.
It looks
Right
like
here.
artwork right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, this is it.
I mean, geez,
yeah, it's like a direct representation, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's a really fun artist. And then they also have this one. Where have we seen this before?
Yeah,
This I don't like. I'm glad they made that's the Prime 1 statue Jimenez's style.
Well, see, it's funny because again, this is a Tony Daniel portrait. And it's basically the exact same pose that Prime 1 did, obviously from that cover. I mean, obviously I think the Prime 1's way better, obviously, but it's still cool that they're doing a smaller scale. If you're a fan.
Yeah. Big price difference between the two.
Yeah, big price difference. And then they also have a new black and white Batman.
That looks good.
I don't know. Did they say who this was?
It's Lee Weeks.
Okay.
Okay.
I just think it's awesome that they're still. So is this? How many have they done since the 100th one? Is this the first one since then? I can't remember if they've done more of the black and whites.
I'm not sure.
No, I haven't
They're-
followed.
They're smaller though now, right? Aren't they 10th scale now?
Oh,
I think-
really?
Yeah, I think they're 10 scale. What were the old scale that you collected, Dan? Do you know?
Were they like 7th or?
I don't think they're that. They might. No, they look like maybe 8th or something. Hold on. I got them right here. I got 2 right in front of me on either end of my desk here. It's kind of hard because they're in different poses, but so this is that Freeze 10th scale, and this is Sean Murphy Joker black and white. I'm looking at like the distance from their foot to the knee. It's
Are they
pretty
close?
comparable. It might be 10th scale. If
So
it's
maybe
not
they-
9th, you know what I mean? It's really close. So yeah, close.
Well, maybe. Yeah. I think this looks cool.
Yeah.
This is shown today by Sideshow. It's their off brand of Unruly Industries. They're doing some stylized. They've got a Carnage, a Venom, and a Spider-Man. I thought those were kind of fun.
Are these PVC, Chris?
I would assume yes.
Yeah, they look good.
Yeah, they do.
They look
They're
cool.
kinda-
Though. They look
Yeah, I was
cool.
gonna say they're. I like the style of them. They're real stylized.
Yeah.
So I would imagine a pretty good price point. Speaking of really cool from Sideshow, this is that Clint Eastwood. I like this one better than the other one they showed, although they're both really good. But this one I feel like is a little bit more iconic even.
Yeah.
But it just this piece reminds me of like old Sideshow. Like, you know, whenever I first started collecting Sideshow pieces.
Yeah.
You know, the old round bases that they used to do. Just has that feel to me, but
The fabric.
I think these are really fun.
They're going to sell a gazillion of these.
I would hope so.
So much crossover appeal.
Yeah. Got the autograph in the front. Just very cool. And I know there's a lot of movie collectors out there, movie memorabilia. And this will be, like Jeff said, this will be very popular.
And I saw that it's Clint's birthday today.
Well, happy
Oh, is
birthday,
that
Clint
right?
Eastwood.
Yeah.
There he is right there. He's at Sideshow with both versions, and very cool to see. And definitely something different from Sideshow, which is awesome. There is the Joker bust. I threw in a couple photos of him. Again, it's just an awesome bust.
Did you see they put Boland's name on the lens?
They did?
Yep.
Did I miss it? Where is
Yep.
it at?
Right there on the bottom.
Oh, right there. I missed it. That's fantastic. It's such a great nod to that cover. There's that terrifying dude. I'm not sure which one's scarier.
It is tall, huh? Wow.
Yeah, it's really tall.
Do you feel like he was true like 1/1 scale, or do you think he was a little bit smaller than you? Like, I feel like in photos his face looked a little smaller. Than
Maybe
yours.
a little bit smaller. I've got a pretty long face, so does he. But, I mean, it felt like, I mean, it like his hand was the same size as my hand though.
Okay.
So I mean, it was very comparable. But you know, it's
Heads come
hard.
in
It's hard with
different
a
shapes
bust.
and sizes.
Say that again.
Heads come in different shapes and sizes.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. Like this Sideshow Joker bust, I feel like his head is bigger than mine. It's a little bit bigger than a.
Yeah, it looked a little exaggerated. But this one, I mean, obviously is just super elongated, so it's a little hard to tell. But I mean, he did feel life size.
Mm-hmm.
He was big. This is a teaser from Legendary Beast. This is the 3rd scale Wonder Woman that they're teasing.
I'll take it.
I was going to say, I love what I see so far.
That looks awesome just right there.
I mean, just simple.
Yep.
Sold.
Yeah, strong, sexy. It's just everything about it looks good so far.
Anatomy looks good. I like the clenched fist in her right hand. I mean, it already looks good.
It already looks good. They've also teased the Spider-Man,
This looks good too.
which will be great. And then they've also teased Batman, which again, I'm buying day one.
Yeah.
I'm going to need this piece, and this is one, Chris, that I have no idea where I'd put it, but I'm going to find a place for this guy.
You're going to need to find a place. And when you see the cape, the way it billows out, like it's just the texture on it. And again, this is just one example of the different swap outs and stuff. So it's, and then they've also teased Superman, and they've also teased Joker as well. Clearly, these are all going to be very museum pose. You know, have some Alex Ross influence clearly, and some other artist influence. But again, 3rd scale characters. So it might not be for everybody, but it's very exciting if you are a 3rd scale collector. I know that I'm going to be picking up a number of these. It sounds like Delaney might be picking up a few, and Mr. Dan as well. What about you, Eric? Do you think you would maybe venture into some of these Legendary Beast pieces?
Yeah, these are really tempting, especially Joker and Batman.
Yeah. And they're just getting started, guys. They're just getting started.
I mean,
The Trinity for me.
I've always wanted an Alex Ross Batman, so I might have to sell a certain one that I just pre-ordered and
yeah. Well, we shall see.
Get this instead.
This is a art print that's coming out from Sideshow. I think it's still coming soon. I don't think it's up for pre-order yet, but
Correct.
this is Jenny.
Fryson, yeah.
Jenny Fryson, and beautiful. Dan, is this one you'd pick up? You're an art print guy. Do you think you'd print this one up? I know you like her work.
I love this, but I've got some great Poison Ivy artwork that I don't think I would part with, and I don't have a spot for it.
Yeah.
I love it, and I love her art. I was actually really excited to see she's going to be at New York which I was really excited for. I've got a bunch of her Harley covers that I love. Just kind of, I have her in rotation in my display, and I love this, but I just don't have a place to put it.
If you have a chance, go to her panel. She's really interesting to listen to.
I will. I'll definitely do that.
Do you think there's any chance she'll be in San Diego, Jeff?
Very possible.
Okay.
She was at WonderCon.
Okay, good. Well, maybe fingers crossed. I'd love to meet her.
Yeah.
Get a print. This is a new piece. This is a quarter scale from The Witcher, and this is from Weta.
It's awesome.
It looks great.
It does. It's got a nice size. It's got a big base with the creatures coming out of the base.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of positive comments from the community on this one.
Yeah, it seems to be really good. Obviously, they've done a Superman before with Henry Cavill, but I thought that likeness looks really good.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
I mean, it's got that great jawline. I mean, this looks really great. Obviously, it's got the blackened eyes, but I think this looks really good.
I don't think I need a Witcher piece, but this is a really cool piece.
I was going to say, if you're going to get one, this would be a great one to add.
Yeah.
Are you getting Blade, Jeff?
So Ant is bringing one of the blades to Monsterpalooza. I'm assuming it's going to be the first one, the more dynamic one. So I want to look at it first. It's really tempting. I like them both. The museum piece obviously would be easier to display, but for only another $220, you get 5 vampires on that base on the more dynamic one that look really, really cool.
Yeah.
And it's a taller, wider, deeper piece. So I want to see it in person before I decide.
You had the 2 photos in your group today, and it was a good point. Like you said, I see a theme going. They look good together. The blade.
Yeah, the Witcher and the dynamic blade both have dead things coming out of the base.
It's got a theme.
Yeah.
Speaking of, just giant dimensions, this is the 3rd scale Catwoman on Batpod.
Man.
Of course, we don't know. I mean, the bike looked a little small, so maybe this isn't as big as we think it is, but obviously it's a case.
It's big enough, and you can't tell from here, but that thing's got wheels.
That's crazy.
It's got wheels?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Oh my God. Break out the
It's going to be like the Bat Bike boxes.
Wow.
I would say I would love all statues to come like that, but then you can't kind of like squish them to try to get them through certain places, the doors.
Yeah. This is the 6th scale in hand. So I know we've showed this one before, but it's cool to see the unboxing and things like that. So I think she looks really great for 6th scale, especially.
Yeah.
Obviously, the rooted hair version will be the 3rd scale. But I think the likeness still looks great. I think she turned out really nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good sculpted hair.
Yeah, it really is. Because I had to actually check because I thought it was really the rooted hair at first.
Right.
And I was like, wow, it's sculpted, but it looks good.
So wait, the goggles do come off? Because I feel like a previous show we were saying that 1/6 you can remove the goggles or something.
They come off.
Oh, cool.
So here is the blade from PCS that Jeff was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's going to be some different swap outs and things, but this is 3rd scale, right?
Yes, they both are.
I love the base.
Yep.
That's cool.
That blood red base. It's such a great idea. It's something really different. I don't think I've ever seen a base quite like this one with the red. I think it really stands out. But this one looks really great.
The other portrait with the glasses, I think, is much better.
I do too. I think this is the one I think people are going to want.
Yeah.
Was it? That's exclusive, right?
No, the exclusive is the stake in his left hand.
Oh, and behind his head.
So this is the regular configuration. The first picture you showed, he has a stake in his left hand instead of that.
So I wonder why they build it as an exclusive here on the corner.
The last pictures of whatever we were looking at the last show, there was the same thing. Even though if it wasn't a platinum edition, it had that platinum sticker on it.
Yeah, that's the platinum.
So that's so weird that they would do that because if this is the regular, they got the exclusive sticker on it.
Yeah.
Well, it's still the platinum still includes all this stuff.
Okay, so maybe that's just what they're
includes the left hand with the stake.
I got you.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So does the stake make it better?
No, this is much better. So you don't really, and that might be why the Ultimate Edition of 75 hasn't sold out yet, even though it went up for pre-order last Thursday.
Can you go back to
Because
the steak again? Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Let me just see. I might have another photo of it closer up here.
Sorry, Jeff. I didn't mean to cut you off.
it's okay.
Nope, I don't.
Just
Let
wanted,
me go to that first picture.
just wanted to look at it while you were talking.
Yeah.
Also,
It's-
So, just a little
It's not as
silver steak.
interesting as the other weapon.
Yeah, I think the other weapon looks cooler anyway.
kind of like the
again,
steak.
the base is cool. Well, I mean, the steak is cool. I mean, that's the thing. Is it just comes down to personal preference.
Yeah.
But I love the detail. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the legendary beast bases with the storytelling,
Yeah.
Right.
Intricacy of it.
Yeah, I hope they do well. It concerns me that those 75 haven't sold out yet. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Jeff, it concerns me that a lot of things aren't selling out.
And also on PCS, so this is 1175 if you buy it from PCS. They give you back 15% of that in rewards.
Wow.
So essentially it's a 1/3 scale piece for $1,000.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's 4 years ago prices.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's fantastic. And you do get both portraits?
Oh yeah. No matter which version you buy, you get both portraits.
Nice. He is cool. Yeah, I think that glass portrait, that right there looks awesome to me.
Yep. That's the ticket right there.
Yeah, that's it right there. That's really cool. Is
Yeah.
Blade considered a Marvel character?
Wasn't
Yeah.
it considered like the first Marvel movie ever made, or superhero movie made, or something like that?
Yeah, probably is.
That sounds true to me, Eric.
I
Yeah.
feel like I heard that somewhere.
He's definitely a Marvel character, no doubt about that.
That's cool. Look at this thing. This is Queen Studios. Talk about a massive piece. Like this is
Well, you've heard the
Transformer on
complaint on
throne.
this, right?
Do what?
You've heard the complaint on this, right?
I don't remember if I have or not. Tell me.
The prototype, his feet, whatever you want to call them, kind of were on the ground. And here we have a production piece where they're up higher and it makes him look small.
Hmm.
His feet aren't on the ground. Anybody that's sitting down without your feet on the ground, it looks kind of silly.
Right.
So people are upset that we're not getting what the prototype showed with his feet much closer to the ground.
So I wonder why they changed it. I wonder if, I mean, obviously, I mean, were they just trying to make the throne look maybe mightier?
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
I think without the throne, it just looks like a pile of rubble.
Is he sitting on Lincoln's throne?
Looks like it.
It does look like it.
I
Yeah.
think I bet that's what that is. But he looks great. I think it's just look at the detail. I bet that's Lincoln's throne.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they built it up to try to be more accurate to that.
Could be.
Because he's up high.
Yeah, that's how that monument is, right? It's like up in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3,250 for this guy. He's quarter scale, right? I think, or kind of. I don't know what they build him as. But only an ES of 99.
Wow,
Wow.
big piece.
Big piece. Yeah, he looks cool though, I think. There's a lot of Transformer fans out there. Obviously, there's that new movie coming out this summer.
Oh, you just remind me. So, they're doing this world tour in different big cities. So they're doing it in New York starting tomorrow. Actually, they're going to be. They have these giant. It's a giant Optimus Prime, and there's an ape, I guess, in the current Transformers movie. I don't know who his name is. They're going to have like these giant displays
Yeah.
that you can go take pictures with and
That's
stuff.
neat.
I'm gonna try to hunt them down. They don't tell you where they are though.
Material, resin, and PU.
There you go.
So there you go. But again, that's what he looks like. And that's the little accessory piece that goes with him.
That's cool. That's
Pretty
super
cute.
fun.
Pretty cute.
I like that.
I'll send you the pictures.
This is the XM Bane. This tease. Now, this is not the Samurai. This is the DC Comics version. And this is the Eric B. lightened up version. I can't remember. I think you did. Either you did this one or I did this one. I can't remember.
You or Matt. Matt's been doing a lot of the.
Yeah, Matt's been beating you to it a couple of times. But I think he looks pretty cool. I don't know if he'll compete with some of the Sideshow ones, but looks pretty cool so far.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah,
He's definitely the hulky, ragey one.
Is that technical term, the hokey ragey
The
one?
hulky, ragey one, you know, like the original Sideshow one. That was like he was like a big Hulk.
it's funny because we all got exactly what you were going for.
Exactly. I mean, you guys are on the same wavelength. Hulky, ragey.
I understood. Everybody started laughing.
So here we got a couple of clowns, right? No, this is our good friend, of course, Mr. X and Todd from Spec. Did you guys have a chance to watch this video?
No.
I watched the drunk part.
The drunk part's the drunk part's funny, but the crazy thing is so if you have a chance to go and watch the Extreme channel, I always recommend you check those guys out too, but or Mr. X out. But they had a place in his basement where his collection is, and they tried for hours to get it down, and they never could get it downstairs. So this is stuck in their living room.
Oh my god.
And so I have no idea what he's gonna. I have no idea what he's gonna do. But God bless both Todd and Mr. X for attempting for hours to get it down the stairs, and they couldn't get it downstairs.
It should stay right there.
I guess, but like, could you imagine this in your living room?
Sure.
How well would that go over with your wives?
I'm pretty sure Mr. X has a bigger living room than I do.
Well, I'm sure he probably does.
So imagine that Jurassic Park piece trying to get.
Yeah, that would look great there.
You're not going to get that through the door either.
It's still pretty cool though. It's cool to see it all lit up and stuff. It's from Queen Studios.
Yeah, it looks great.
This is XM. This is Lady Deadpool. There's the original Deadpool that they did, and then this is their newer one that's up for pre-order. I don't know if we have a ton of Lady Deadpool fans out there, but
why is she always cutting through a Deadpool skull?
Must be just a thing.
The Sideshow piece was like that too.
Everybody's got hobbies.
That's right. You love what you love. Base is kind of fun. So that's her right there. Again, great detail. I think she might be up for pre-order right now.
Yeah.
Getting some dynamite. Can't say dynamite.
Don't show the dynamite.
Yeah, don't show it. Yeah, can't say it. Can't show it. No, they have the Asian license. So they are fine.
Cool.
It's just the dreaded United States license. I thought this looked great. This is we kind of got a teaser last time. This is the new Star-Lord from Hot Toys. I thought the portrait looked really good. Did you guys all see that movie? Did you like it?
Yeah, I like it.
I haven't seen it yet. No.
I thought it was fun. It was definitely different than the other ones, but I really liked it. Tugs at the heartstrings, especially if you're an animal lover.
Yep.
But thought that looked like Star-Lord.
Yeah.
Looks good. This is from InArt. I think my most unwatched video of all time today. I did a reaction video to this one today. So this is a new piece from InArt, but I thought it was really cool. I thought it looked really spot on to him.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I think there's, obviously a lot of Harry Potter fans, maybe not as many Batman Statue Collector channel Harry Potter fans, but I still thought it was cool. And I've been really impressed with what InArt's been doing with their figures.
I don't know. I once stumbled into matter of fact, I still have it in my like list, I think, a Harry Potter collector channel.
Oh.
And the guy's got like, you measure his subs in 7 figures, and it's like every video has 100,000 plus views.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I really should have been the Harry Potter statue.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, I should have been the Harry Potter statue collector. If I can go back in time. But I think it looks great.
That looks really cool right
That
there.
looks good.
Yeah, I love that with the light up.
Yeah, that looks cool.
I mean, it looks like a statue to me, kind of. I mean, the way they have it posed. And they do those magnetic bases with the magnetic feet,
Yeah.
so you don't need the stands. It's really cool. This is Ryan Brown's new cover. I thought it was really cool. I just wanted to throw it in here because I thought it was really neat, of the Joker. I've had Ryan on the channel and got to meet him in New York face to face, which was incredible to talk to him. I know Dan and I and Eric and Matt, not Matt.
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, Matt. Yeah, I was gonna say I couldn't remember if he was with us that day. But yeah, it was so cool to talk to him.
That's somehow a very disturbing cover. I don't know why.
It really is, and that's why I liked it. It was just so creepy.
That's creepy.
This is a new Alita. This is from Motorball. This is from Prime One Studio. This was just up for pre-order this week. Kind of that stylized look. But if you're a Prime One collector, this is up for pre-order. If you're in the market for this line, this one's definitely more of the. I don't know if it's from a cartoon or what it's from. It's definitely not from the movie.
Yeah.
But this is the stuff that's selling right now, guys. I wish I could say otherwise. And look at that. I mean, limited edition of 500.
500.
Yep. A couple new pieces from Iron Studios. These are 10 scale.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I like the height on him. It's got a really good presence. So if you're a fan of him, that's really cool. And then there's also a new Skeletor. 110 scale. So this is obviously like the classic 80s Skeletor. And then they have a is that Lion-O? Thundercats, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was never a Thundercats guy, so I don't know anything about him. But that looks cool to me. And then classic Disney, they're doing a lot of Disney characters now. Little Mermaid. So you can be part of her world. 110 scale. And then they also had a Old Man Logan, which is pretty cool. So again, these are a little bit better price point. I always like to try to feature these for the collector that doesn't have a lot of space.
The hell's on the back?
Baby Hulk, I'm guessing.
Is it really?
I have no idea. That's what it looks like to me. That it does look like Baby Hulk. Maybe somebody in the chat could fill us in. But I thought he looked cool. I threw this photo in because I thought this looked pretty cool too. To see all these lined up.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Looks really neat. And that brings us to the end.
That was a lot of pictures.
I had a lot this week. I was going to say it's been like a big dry spell, but it's like that's 2 weeks worth of photos right there. A lot of stuff kind of all shown at once, which is really cool. So any must-haves? Obviously, we talked about the Legendary Beast stuff. I think that we'll definitely be interested. Hopefully, we've been having conversations with Jay, and maybe we'll have a chance to maybe bring you guys some early showings of it. Maybe when they start getting things printed. Hopefully, maybe Secret Sanctuary and Batman Statue Collector can show off those a little bit. Because I'm very, very excited about what they have coming. And his ambitions of what he wants to do. And it's just so cool that he's asked for our input, and that's really exciting to me. So I'm definitely into that, especially the Batman. I don't know about Joker yet. I haven't seen him fully revealed yet. So I don't know if you have, Jeff.
You know what? He's shown me several different renders, and I'm unclear which one he went with, or whether there's going to be torso switch outs or what. But I've seen a lot of images.
Now that you said that, I think he did show me one image of him. But anyway, I've definitely seen different renders of other things that he's working on. So it's always hard to keep track sometimes, but it's very, very exciting. Anything else other than that we saw? Anything else that again, Dan, you kind of said you have all your spaces kind of planned out.
I do, except that Legendary Beast Batman. I just have a feeling that's going to be a must-have.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a piece you're going to have to make room for.
Yeah.
You know what piece
The
I'm
Clint Eastwood is tempting.
the which one?
The Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, it's that one feels like a sanctuary piece to me.
Yeah, it probably is. And I haven't hit go on Two-Face yet. I'm still thinking.
Do you have? Do you know where you would put Clint Eastwood? Because I mean, most of your stuff is comic book based. However, you're getting like RoboCop and the Star Trek pieces. So like you could do like a movie wall.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure where I would put him. I could do a actor likeness display with the Tom Holland Spidey and the Gal Gadot Wonder Woman, that sort of thing, and then the Clint Eastwood. I'm not sure yet, so I haven't hit go on that.
You know what you can do?
Go ahead.
You can make that door open the other way and then put stuff in front of those posts. Or you could.
This is going to be the most serious question of the night. Is knocking down a wall a possibility in the sanctuary at any point? Like, is there any point that like down the future be like, honey, can I just knock this wall down?
So the sanctuary is on the 3rd floor.
Oh, okay.
Two biggest walls in the room. If I knocked them out, it would be open air. This one would go into the kitchen.
Open air.
So no, not really. It's not possible.
So can you build a balcony, like some sort of deck onto the 3rd floor, and then just expand out onto the deck?
Well, my wife is a civil engineer. So
Oh, see?
inquire.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm assuming there'll be some permitting involved or whatever, but you know, you can get that passed through, no problem.
We'll make it happen. It might involve like an alternate dimension portal or something like that. Yeah.
I was going to say, we didn't talk about it tonight, but do you know what piece that I'm actually considering? I've been kind of looking at is that Dark Knight Returns quarter scale by Prime One. The one where it's got Batman kind of in the cave lurking with Robin and then the Joker in the water.
Yeah.
I'm kind of digging it. I don't know. I like it.
That's not a big surprise to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not my favorite story, but it's just like, I don't know. I think the art's really cool. It's obviously a Jim Lee cover, which probably draws it to me even more. It was a cover, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know. I'm definitely gonna have some room for quarter scale stuff, and I feel like that one has a great storytelling presence to it. So that's the one kind of on my mind here this week. So there it is. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap it up? Again, we've gone about 2.5 hours tonight. Sorry, I always feel bad. I'm like, oh, I'm keeping these guys for too long, but it's fun.
No, I hear my wife cooking, so I gotta go.
Okay.
Yeah. Same.
All right.
Pumpkin.
Well, I appreciate everybody watching. Again, hope you guys have a great rest of your week and have a great weekend. And everybody be safe out there. Thanks everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. If you would do me a favor, please give this video a like. I know at one point we had over 230 people watching. I don't know what it got up to, but again, I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in each time we do this show, and it just means the world to us. So definitely, again, check out Secret Sanctuary this weekend. I'm sure Jeff will have a lot of footage from Monster Palooza, maybe even like a Dave Igo interview, which would be pretty incredible. That would be awesome. Or Jeff May. Obviously, he's a great guy. We got to hang out with him in San Diego. So, yeah, definitely stay tuned to that channel. And also, Eric, do you have anything coming up for all things art?
I'll probably try to film Philly Fan Expo this weekend.
Okay, that'd be cool. And again, next weekend I'll be in Fan Expo Dallas, so I'll have that footage up as well. And then maybe Dan and I were talking before the show. Maybe we have a little secret project that we're going to do here for you guys as well. So again, lots of content. I think I've got 17 videos in the can for you guys that are uploaded and ready to go. I've been working my butt off now that I've got the summer, so I'm just going to be just constantly working, and it keeps me busy anyway. So stay tuned to the channel. Got lots of content, lots of reviews, and lots of car side chats. So again, thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you soon in the Batcave. Good night, everybody.
Have a good night, guys.
Thanks for watching.